Chapter 32. I'll be back soon to keep you company. Even though she kept telling herself it was fine, Sophia still lingered upstairs for quite a while before finally heading down. When she came down with Charlie in her arms, Mrs. Reed was already busy making breakfast in the kitchen. Nathaniel had finished his shower and changed into another crisp suit. He looked as put together as always, holding a cup of coffee in one hand and flipping through the financial news with the other. His right hand was still wrapped tightly in gauze. As soon as he saw Sophia, his gaze softened. "Morning." "Morning," she replied casually, looking like everything was totally normal. But Nathaniel's eyes drifted toward Charlie, who was lazily squinting in Sophia's arms, tail flicking now and then. Every so often, he rubbed his little head against Sophia's chest like he owned the place. Nathaniel's eyes narrowed slightly. Charlie caught the change in vibe immediately. His tail stiffened, and with a whimper, he dove deeper into Sophia's chest like he was running for cover. "Nathaniel, what's wrong with him?" Sophia didn't catch the change in Nathaniel's expression and thought Charlie was just being clingy. She chuckled, pulling him out and flicking his forehead. "You little perv, where do you think you're heading?" "Woof, woof, woof, woof!" "Come here," Nathaniel patted the spot next to him on the couch. Before Sophia could even react, Charlie wriggled out of her arms like he was on a mission, practically flew over to the sofa and snuggled right up beside Nathaniel, tongue out, looking up eagerly. Nathaniel, clearly pleased, gave Charlie a pat and tossed him a sausage. Charlie instantly grabbed the treat and chomped away like his life depended on it. Sophia. Breakfast, as usual, was a full spread prepared by Mrs. Reed. Sophia ate to her heart's content. When she saw James walking in with car keys, she paused and turned to Nathaniel, who was gracefully wiping the corners of his mouth. "It's Saturday. You're still working today?" "Yeah, there's a big acquisition we're currently handling. A lot going on." Sophia thought to herself, being rich sure comes with its own set of problems. Blue skies, a rare weekend, and he still had to go deal with work. In comparison, her life as an office worker actually felt a lot easier. "I'll try to be back soon." She blinked. Wait, did Nathaniel think she was upset about him going to work? She quickly waved her hands. No, you do your thing. Work's important. I actually made plans to go shopping with some friends today, so go ahead. Don't worry about me." Nathaniel pressed his lips together and didn't say anything. For a moment, the mood in the dining room became noticeably cooler. Why did it feel like he was kind of annoyed? She was genuinely confused. She thought guys hated clingy girls. She was being as chill and understanding as possible, right? Let him work, didn't bug him, and he still looked ticked. Standing on the side, Mrs. Reed watched the couples exchange silently, hiding a small smile. These two were going to take some time to fully sync up, clearly. "You okay?" Sophia asked cautiously, hugging her glass of milk. "I'm fine." Oh, just then James walked in. "Sir, the car's ready." "Yeah." Nathaniel nodded, but didn't get up. He looked at Sophia and said calmly, "I'm heading out now." "Okay, see you," she replied quickly. Nathaniel's face got even more serious, staying glued to his seat. After a pause, he repeated, "I said, I'm heading out." "Wait, what?" she tried. "Do you want me to walk you out?" Like someone hit the switch, Nathaniel's expression immediately warmed. "Sure." Chapter 33. I'll take it. Sophia actually had plans to go shopping today. Half an hour later, she hopped out of a cab and arrived at Lixin City's fanciest shopping plaza, Wanshin Mall. Wanshin Mall was one of the country's most upscale malls, with branches all over and filled with luxury brands from around the world. Sophia was still a woman after all, and like many, she had a soft spot for bags and cosmetics. But with her limited salary, she didn't dare come here often. Today was the mall's 8th anniversary, with massive discounts everywhere. Sophia had been itching to come and arrived early to get first dibs. Usually, since the mall targets the high-end crowd, it wasn't that crowded. But today, the entrance was absolutely packed with people. The mall even had tons of security guards trying to keep things orderly. Wow, shopaholic central. Just as Sophia got out of the car, she saw someone waving at her near the entrance. "Editor-in-chief, over here." It was Chloe. Sophia smiled and teased her. "You're seriously here this early?" Chloe laughed, hurried over, and linked arms with Sophia, her face full of anticipation as she looked at the mall's front doors. "It's a special day. Of course I had to show up early. You don't even know. This time the mall's gone all out. The deals are insane, probably the best ever, and they even invited a bunch of celebs to hype the event. I've never seen a star in real life before. So yeah, super pumped." Sophia just smiled politely. Being an editor, she often crossed paths with authors and screenwriters, even visiting drama sets sometimes, so celebrities didn't really faze her. Chloe was still buzzing with excitement as she dragged Sophia into the mall. The first-floor lobby had red carpets rolled out and a stage set up. Big posters were on display, though no celebrities had shown up yet. Staff were busy with final touches. The crowd was so thick they couldn't even see the poster properly. Sophia had no idea which celebrity it featured. Chloe was tiptoeing and craning her neck to try and get a better look when Sophia tugged her away. "Hey, editor-in-chief, let's shop first. We can come back later." "Fine." Seeing the crowd getting worse, Chloe reluctantly followed Sophia. The first floor was mostly skincare and jewelry. The two of them made their way to the second floor for handbags and clothes. Up there, the crowd thinned out a lot and the air felt less stuffy. "Phew," Sophia let out a breath. "Editor, I really don't get why you don't like joining the crowd," Chloe said, puzzled, as they stepped into one of Sophia's favorite stores. She whispered, "All that buzz gets my adrenaline going like crazy. I feel hyped, like I had a shot of espresso." Sophia rolled her eyes. "That's because you're young. I'm already past that. Oh, come on, you're only 2 years older than me." Sophia suddenly thought of that weird blind date she had and chuckled. "You don't get it. 25 is the dividing line. I'm 26 now, officially an older woman. You're 24, still a baby." As they chatted, a store clerk came over to greet them. Chloe giggled and stuck her tongue out, not saying anything more. "Welcome, ladies. Let me know if you're looking for something specific." Sophia went straight to the bag she had her eye on. The clerk saw and immediately smiled. "You've got great taste, miss. This bag's a limited edition, only available here at Wanshin Mall in the entire country. We only have one piece, and today there's a special 20% off." It was a stunning combo of red and black, elegant and structured. Very classic style. With today's discount, it was basically the same price as buying it in France. Sophia held the bag lovingly, already imagining owning it. She was about to pay when suddenly the weight in her hands disappeared. Someone snatched the bag right out of her grasp. A cold, arrogant voice followed right after. "I'll take this." Chapter 34 Snatched. "Emma Mitchell, are you freaking nuts? Our editor-in-chief saw that bag first. What the hell are you grabbing it for?" The woman barging in wasn't a stranger. It was Emma Mitchell from operations. Emma held the bag and scoffed, throwing Chloe Carter a cold glance. "So what if you saw it first? Whoever pays first owns it. Simple as that." With that, she turned, clearly ready to get the cashier to ring it up. Sophia Williams felt a chill run down the back of her neck. Emma just couldn't leave her alone. Stirring up trouble at work wasn't enough. Now she had to wreck her downtime too. Sophia wasn't someone who looked for drama, but if it came to her doorstep, she wasn't backing down either. She stepped forward and blocked Emma with her arm. "Got a problem?" Emma had on a tight-knit sweater that hugged her slim frame, her wavy hair loose around her shoulders, adding a flirty vibe. She flicked her hair and gave Sophia a smug, condescending smile. "Hand it over." Emma let out a sharp laugh. "Seriously? The bag's not even yours. Why should I give it back?" "Open your eyes, Sophia. This is 28 grand, even after the discount. With your salary, you'd have to eat instant noodles all month. Don't act rich when you're not." Sophia raised her brows. Sure, affording this bag meant scrimping on everything else for a month. But if she remembered right, didn't Emma earn less than her? Chloe seemed to pick up on her thoughts and leaned in so only Sophia could hear. "Boss, Emma's family just made a killing from a land buyout. I heard they got 2 apartments and a ton of cash. Maybe we just let it go?" "Land buyout? First I've heard." You never keep up with the office gossip. Emma loves showing off. As soon as the deal was done, she made sure half the company knew she'd struck gold. Ah, that explained it. No wonder Emma suddenly had the guts to cause drama in public. She had backup now. Emma clearly overheard Chloe and laughed, even more pleased with herself. Sophia, take a little advice. Know your place. Stop dreaming about stuff that's out of your league. You're only setting yourself up for a major crash. Out of her league? Clearly she was hinting at Lucas Carter. Sophia let out a cold chuckle, not bothering to sugarcoat. What's sweet for you tastes like poison to someone else. Sure, Lucas is your dream guy, but to me, he's not even worth a dime. You, Emma snapped, her voice rising. Don't act all high and mighty. Sophia, with your track record, no decent guy would ever give you a second glance. The past. That jab hit a nerve, sharp and sudden, but Sophia kept her face neutral. Worry about your own life. Mine's none of your business. Emma was fuming. Damn Sophia. Just because of her, Lucas couldn't care less about Emma. No way she's letting Sophia win today. She slammed her card on the counter. Ring it up for me. I saw it first. Please ring it up for me, Sophia told the staff firmly. The cashier looked torn. First come, first served, Sophia added, calmly pulling a card from her bag and placing it on the counter. Only after putting it down did she realize, oops, she'd accidentally grabbed the one Nathanial Connor had given her after they registered their marriage. She'd never really looked at it. It was pitch black, with nothing but the bank name printed in clean, understated font. What even is that? Ha, Sophia! Come on, that card doesn't even have an account number. What is this, a prop? Clearly, Emma had never seen such a card before. But unlike her, the cashier went pale the second his eyes landed on the black card. Chapter 35, Slap in the Face. She took another glance at Sophia, her expression clearly more cautious now. Holding the card with both hands, she said respectfully, Miss, please wait a moment. I'll go get our store manager. With that, she shot a look to one of the other sales associates, who quickly came over to lead Sophia and the others to the waiting area, while she hurried out. Emma crossed her legs on the sofa, cradling the coffee brought over by a staffer. Convinced Sophia's card was fake, she lifted her chin with a sneer. What manager? They should be calling security. Or maybe just dial 911. The employee chuckled awkwardly but didn't respond. Emma didn't even glance at her, turning straight to Sophia with a look full of mockery. Sophia Williams, you've seriously lost it. Do you think this place is some kind of flea market? Pulling out a fake card and still trying to show off? Sophia let out a cold chuckle, clearly ready to take her card back. She had never planned on touching Nathaniel's money anyway. Hold it. Emma slapped a hand over Sophia's. Trying to take your fake card and bail? Not that easy. Just wait till the manager gets here. With any luck, they'll call the cops. Showing off when you don't even know the basics. You mean that card is real? You've got to be kidding me. Who's ever heard of a bank card without an account number on it? Keep dreaming. Don't start crying when they show up. Editor, Chloe looked uneasy. Don't worry, it's fine. Sophia patted Chloe's arm, completely calm, sitting there like nothing could shake her. That confidence on her face said it all. If Emma wanted a public slap in the face, then fine, she'd get one. Sophia tossed the card casually onto the table and leaned back on the sofa, totally relaxed. She hadn't seen this card before, but since it was from Nathaniel, she was certain it couldn't possibly be fake. 10 minutes later, the employee returned, flanked by the store manager, and surprisingly, even the mall director came with them. Emma's face lit up when she spotted the director. Sophia Williams, impressive. Even got the mall director involved. You're really screwed now. But neither the manager nor the director paid the slightest attention to Emma. Their eyes locked immediately onto the black card sitting on the table, and both audibly gasped. They exchanged a look, both shocked beyond words. May I ask your name, miss? The director asked politely. I'm Miss Lynn. Nice to meet you, Miss Lynn. May I take a look at this card? Of course. The director's tone was extremely respectful, and Sophia could already tell it was Nathaniel's card making the impact. She got it. Emma didn't. Emma frowned and stood up, full of attitude. Why are you treating someone with a fake card so nicely? What she's doing is fraud. You should be calling the cops right now. Fake, isn't it? The director almost choked. That card, one of only 20 exclusive black cards issued nationwide, was valid for VIP-level spending anywhere in the world. Money alone couldn't buy it. It required real status. From the day Wanshan Plaza opened, the company had drilled it into everyone. Anyone who showed up with that card was to be treated as their most VIP of VIPs. The director was done humoring ignorance. Instead, he respectfully handed both the black card and the luxury bag Sophia had wanted over to her. Dear valued customer, we deeply apologize for the inconvenience today. As a token of our apology, we'd like to offer this bag as a gift, our way of making it up to you. Chapter 36, Money. Just so much money. Sophia froze. Chloe froze. Even Emma froze. Sophia's heart was pounding like crazy. She figured that card was special, but she never imagined it'd be powerful enough to make Wanjin Plaza gift her such an insanely expensive bag. So what kind of card was it? No, better question, who exactly is Nathanial Connor? Miss, this doesn't seem appropriate, does it? I mean, we're talking high-end luxury goods here. The mall's AC was running on full blast, but the manager still had sweat forming on his forehead. Seeing Sophia hesitate, he immediately thought she was unhappy with his offer, so he quickly added, "If you're not satisfied with this arrangement, we're definitely open to other options." Sophia, practically sweat dropped. She wasn't the kind to push people when they're already being polite. Seeing how respectful the manager was, she quickly waved her hand. No, that's fine. This will do." The manager sighed in visible relief. The store clerk packed the bag carefully and placed it into Sophia's hands like it was made of gold. Sophia, still kind of dazed, held both the bag and the mysterious card. She glanced at the POS machine at the counter and, without thinking, asked, "Can you check the card balance for me?" "Of course." The clerk started tapping away. "Please enter your PIN." It was the date she and Nathaniel registered their marriage. Sophia typed it in. A few seconds later, the balance popped up on the screen. As she read the number, Sophia's head went light again. Oh, my God. She had to reach out and start counting. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions. With each added zero, her eyes widened more and more. OMG, how much was in this card? She tried counting it several times, still couldn't wrap her head around the total number of digits. Only one thought kept circling in her mind. Money. Just all this money. Dear Lord. She swallowed hard. When the clerk handed the card back, it suddenly felt like she was holding something that weighed a ton. "Miss, is there anything else you'd like?" The manager personally stepped up to help her. "Nope." Sophia kind of snapped out of it, grabbed Chloe in a fluster, and bolted from the counter. "Editor, I know what you're about to ask. Don't. My brain's a mess right now, too." "Fine." Chloe clearly had a million questions, but for now, she kept them to herself. Emma watched the two of them walk off and was practically grinding her teeth. She'd wanted so badly to embarrass Sophia earlier, but clearly that backfired big time. Furious and unwilling to just let it go, she stormed right after them. "Sophia Williams, stop right there." Sophia didn't respond, acted like she didn't even hear her, and just kept walking. That made Emma even more pissed. In her heels, she stomped over in front of them and blocked their path. "Get lost. You're in the way," Sophia snapped. Emma's anger shot up from her feet to her head. "Who are you calling in the way?" "Whoever's blocking me, duh. You think you've won, don't you?" Emma was practically spitting rage. "But I'm telling you, I'm not letting today slide. Don't fool yourself into thinking I'll leave you alone just because you've got some rich sugar daddy now. I'll expose you for what you really are. Let everyone know just how fake and disgusting you are." She was convinced. No way Sophia got that card on her own. That had to be a gift from some rich guy. Hell, why did Sophia get all the luck? "You done?" Sophia asked coldly. "Sophia Williams." "Then move. You're wasting my time." Emma was so angry she legit stopped breathing for a second. She knew there was no winning today, so she just threw out one more threat before stomping away. "You better watch your back. I'll make sure you regret this." Chapter 37. Oliver Bennett. Buzz. Sophia's mind went completely blank. She just stood there, frozen, staring at the man in front of her like her brain short-circuited. The chilly air in the mall snuck into her skin, making her feel like she was standing in a freezer. Her whole body turned to ice. She literally couldn't move an inch. Oliver Bennett. Oliver Bennett. Back when she first left Linjiang, she used to imagine what it'd be like to run into him again. But as time passed, those thoughts faded. She stopped holding on to that hope, figured they'd just never cross paths again. Yet 2 years later, here they were, running into each other right at Wanxin Plaza. Chloe had gone to the restroom and Sophia was just waiting casually outside. She turned her head and bam, there he was. Even though she'd rehearsed all this in her head a million times, even though the company acquisition had toughened her up, when she actually saw Oliver again, every bit of that composure just crumbled. She couldn't stop shaking. He looked just the same as 2 years ago. Those frameless glasses, that tailored suit making his figure look sharp, and that familiar, gentle smile tugging at the corners of his mouth. Calm, polite, as always. People kept walking back and forth between them, but they stood there like statues, locked in place. If Oliver didn't speak up, they might have seriously stood there forever. Sophia, long time no see. Yeah, no kidding. It had been 2 years and 67 days. Definitely a long time. Sophia tried to smile, but her face wouldn't listen. She couldn't pull it off. She shut her eyes, and suddenly 2 years ago came flooding back in slow motion. That chaotic crowd, all those wounds. She opened her eyes again, and they were already glistening. Sophia, Oliver's eyes softened with something like pain. Yeah, long time no see. When she spoke, she realized her voice was practically gone. She clenched her fists on the edge of bolting. Sorry, I've got stuff to do. I need to go. Sophia! Oliver reached out and caught her wrist. Let go of me. She didn't even think, just screamed like a panic reflex and yanked her hand free. Their quick tussle drew some curious looks. Oliver's hand just sort of hung in the air for a second before he awkwardly pulled it back and gave a wry, helpless smile. But when he looked up again, the bitterness in his face was gone. His usual polite calm had returned. Sophia, these last 2 years, have you been okay? Whether she was okay or not, what did it even matter to him now? Sophia bit her lip hard and wrapped her arms around herself like armor. Oliver, I don't think there's any point in talking about the past. They were ancient history. She had Nathanial now, her husband. And Oliver, she'd seen news about him, like once or twice. Rumors about him being engaged to some heiress, joining the top ranks in Linjiang. Staring at the polished mall floor, she didn't dare look up at him, not even for a second. She was scared that if she did, those barely healed wounds would rip wide open again. Sophia, can we at least talk? Sorry, I really can't stay. Hey, sis? Before she could finish, a familiar voice cut her off. The next second, a girl came running up and crashed into her arms. Sis! I can't believe it's really you. Where have you been all this time? Why didn't you reach out? I've been looking for you for 2 years. I was losing my damn mind. Chapter 38. Where's your boyfriend? The girl who showed up wasn't a stranger. It was Lily Hudson, Sophia Williams' half-sister from her mother's second marriage. Sophia was just 2 when her parents divorced. Her mom remarried the following year and gave birth to Lily. Sophia was standing by the railing on the 5th floor of the mall when Lily suddenly charged at her out of nowhere. The impact was strong enough to make her stumble back 2 steps, nearly sending her over the edge. Her face went pale as she grabbed the railing in a panic. Sophia turned her head. The dizzying height below made her stomach lurch. Lily? Oliver Bennett gasped and hurried to pull the two apart. Sophia, visibly shaken, stood frozen, her face drained of color. Her whole body was trembling slightly. Seeing this, Oliver quickly steadied her by the shoulders, looking super worried. Sophia, are you okay? Did she hurt you? He glanced at her ghost-white face, then turned to Lily with a scolding tone. Lily, that was way too reckless. We're on the 5th floor. What if she had fallen? Lily, now 23, had a slim figure and a sweet, innocent look. She had entered showbiz at 18 and built her image around being the cute girl next door. Something clicked in Sophia's mind. She glanced down and noticed that a stage had been set up on the 1st floor, with a gigantic poster hanging behind it featuring Lily and 2 other female celebrities. No wonder she was here. Realizing she'd messed up, Lily looked totally lost, awkwardly standing there with a guilty expression. I'm so sorry, really. Oliver, I didn't mean to. I just saw my sister and got emotional. She stepped in closer and grabbed Sophia's hand. Sis, are you okay? I'm really sorry, it's all my fault. Where have you been these past 2 years? I've been looking for you forever. I couldn't find you anywhere. Ha, really now? Sophia blinked, her lips twitching into a silent, bitter smile. She gently pulled away from Oliver's hand and fixed her gaze on Lily. All she could think was, wow, Her acting had seriously leveled up these past 2 years. That teary, sincere expression, almost believable. "Sis," Lily's voice wavered under Sophia's intense stare. "You said you've been looking for me?" "Yeah, I have!" Sophia let out a laugh, low and airy. What a joke. She never changed her number, never cut contact with home. Her mom still called every single week like clockwork and even knew her exact address in Lixon City. And Lily, being their mother's precious darling, always got the full scoop on everything. The idea that she couldn't find her? Hilarious. "Sis, how come you never reached out to me? You used to love me the most." "Yeah, I did love you the most." Too bad she had been so blind. Even now, she couldn't forget how disgustingly cruel Lily had been the day she left Linjiang City 2 years ago. But now Lily was standing here acting like none of that had ever happened, playing the innocent victim like it was her Oscar reel. So fake. Sophia's stomach was in knots from the nausea. She took 2 steps back, putting more distance between herself, Lily, and Oliver. Instantly, the air felt easier to breathe. People were moving all around the mall. Some recognized Lily and started snapping pictures. A small crowd quickly formed and began drifting toward them. Not wanting to be caught in the spotlight, Sophia backed up again. "Sorry, you might want to find me, but honestly, I really don't want to see you." "Sis, I'm leaving." Lily noticed Oliver's gaze locked on Sophia and bit her lip before raising her voice. "Sis, I heard from Mom you've got a boyfriend now. It's the weekend. So where is he? Why isn't he shopping with you?" Chapter 39. Let go of her already. Boyfriend? Oliver Bennett stiffened, his sharp features twitching with a flash of pain. He clenched his fists, staring at Sophia in disbelief. You're dating someone? So that's what Lily Hudson came here for. She just said she lost contact with Sophia for 2 years, and now suddenly claims she heard about her boyfriend from their mom? Sure. Sophia didn't even care to argue anymore. She looked over at Lily, then at Oliver. Both of them were clearly waiting for her response. Thinking of Nathaniel Connor calmed her. The crowd was getting thicker around them. Not wanting to be caught in the drama any longer, she gave a small nod. "Yeah, I have a boyfriend." It hit Oliver like a hammer. His composed facade cracked ever so slightly. "Sophia." She stared at him blankly. Seriously, who does he think he's fooling with that heartbroken look? He moved on and got engaged after they broke up, so why can't she date someone too? Is she supposed to stay single forever just because of him? Compared to Oliver's moody silence, Lily looked like she'd just won the lottery. That's the line she'd been waiting for. Now Oliver would finally give up on Sophia. For good. She stepped forward and grabbed Sophia's hand, smiling brightly. "It's true then. Sis, that's amazing. You have no idea how much Mom worried you'd never move past what happened 2 years ago. She's been thrilled ever since hearing about your new boyfriend. You two have to get along well, all right? That'll definitely put Mom's mind at ease." Sophia glanced down at Lily's hand with an indifferent gaze. Lily awkwardly let go. "Sis, Lily." "Huh? Your acting's gotten better." Lily's smile froze for a second, but noticing all the fans nearby, she quickly recovered. "Sis? Okay, anything else? If not, I'll get going." Lily didn't stop her this time. After all, she'd gotten what she came for. "Sis, I have an event here at the mall today. Once it's done, let's grab dinner together. Make sure to bring your new boyfriend too. I'll check him out for you. That way, when we're back in Linjiang City, I can let Mom know everything's fine." Mom. Just that word made Sophia's chest tighten a bit. She didn't reply. Pressing her lips, she turned around and walked off. The fans were crowding everywhere. Not long after, security escorted Lily Hudson away from the 5th floor. In the back seat of her van, she sat next to Oliver, whose eyes were still fixed on the mall's exit. "Oliver." Lily bit her lip. He finally snapped out of it. Lily had her own plans. She'd met Oliver with Sophia, but he only ever liked Sophia. Watching them together used to eat her alive with jealousy. But without Sophia, she'd have never gotten close to Oliver in the first place. So she stayed by their side, just as the little sister. She waited and waited, and now her moment had finally come. Yeah, Oliver was engaged now, but she knew he didn't care about that woman. It was all just to climb into Linjiang's high society. What she needed to do now was get the girl Oliver loved out of his system, and then figure out how to kick the other woman to the curb. You heard her. My sister's moved on. She's starting fresh with someone new, probably planning to stay in Lixon City for good. It's been over 2 years. If she can let go, so can you, Oliver. It's time to move forward. Chapter 40. Wife comes first. As soon as they stepped out of the mall, Sophia couldn't hold it in any longer. Her head buzzed, and as she stood there on the lively street, she looked completely lost. For a second, she had no idea where she should even go. Before she turned 24, she'd honestly thought life was pretty good. Even though her mom wasn't exactly loving, her grandparents adored her like a treasure. And there was Oliver. From 19 to 24, those years were filled with laughter and closeness. But 2 years ago, that one thing happened, and everything just fell apart. Sophia's eyes stung, but no tears came out. She wrapped her arms around herself. It was early summer, but she felt frozen to the bone. Ding, ding, ding. Her phone suddenly rang. She didn't answer at first, standing there like a ghost, blank and hollow. But the ringing was relentless, and finally, she picked up. Mrs. Connor, did you have your phone on silent or something? Took you long enough to answer. Nathaniel's voice was as deep and soothing as ever, like a cello or a gentle breeze that could smooth out the edges of a rough day. The second she heard him, Sophia's last bit of composure cracked. Her nose tingled, and the tears that wouldn't come now spilled over. Nathaniel. What's going on? His voice tightened when he noticed her choking up. She clutched her phone tighter, throat tight, not knowing what to say. She was scared that if she opened her mouth, she'd totally break down. Sophia, where are you right now? 20 minutes later, Nathaniel's sleek Audi pulled up by the curb. By then, Sophia had mostly pulled herself together. But the moment the car door opened and she saw him stride toward her with a serious expression, she suddenly felt like a kid caught doing something wrong. Eyes down, too guilty to even look at him. Ugh. Guess she really messed up. It was the weekend. Nathaniel had to be super busy, and yet she dragged him out just because her mood was a wreck. I'm sorry, Nathaniel. You should be. Sophia bit her lip, her face full of guilt. The noon sun was crazy harsh, and Nathaniel popped open an umbrella to shield them both before calmly saying, It's 11 a.m. The sun's blazing, and you're just standing here like this. What if you passed out from the heat? Huh? Sophia blinked up at him. So he wasn't mad about her interrupting his work? He was just worried she'd get heat stroke? Nathaniel? And just like that, the tears came back, sneaking up on her again. Other than her dad and grandparents, and maybe Oliver back in the day, no one had shown her care quite like this. Get in the car. Okay. She nodded and climbed in quietly. It wasn't until she sat down that she realized her skin was slightly burned, but thank goodness the car's AC was already running. The heat quickly faded away. Nathaniel gave them all one last quiet look before getting into the driver's seat. He'd driven himself over. On the way back, Sophia felt anxious, bracing herself for questions. She didn't want to keep things from him, but she also couldn't bear to talk about her past mess. Fortunately, he didn't press her. She let out a quiet sigh of relief. The car cruised steadily down the road. Nathaniel, did I pull you away from something important? She asked, fidgeting. You can drop me off somewhere. I can head home on my own. It's not that far, and I don't want to keep you from work. Worried I'll get fired? Sophia. She just didn't think playing hooky was a smart move. I just don't want to cause trouble for your job. It's fine. Wife comes first. Chapter 41, Time to Bail. Wife. Sophia froze. Her cheeks flushed red in a second. She quickly lowered her head, completely missing the shadow that flickered through Nathaniel's eyes. Soft music played inside the car. Even without saying a word, the atmosphere between them felt oddly comfy. Sophia's eyes drifted towards Nathaniel's hand without thinking. It was still wrapped in the white gauze from last night. Against the black steering wheel, it looked jarringly out of place. She instantly felt a pang of guilt. She had realized last night while treating his wound that they were out of disinfectant spray at home. She'd meant to grab some while shopping today, not to mention picking up Charlie's dog food. But after bumping into Lily and Oliver, everything flew right out of her head. Nathaniel had been so good to her. Even in his busy schedule, he made time to come pick her up. And what had she done for him in return? Nothing. Sophia groaned in frustration and scratched her head hard. Back at home, she casually walked in with her bag in hand, Nathaniel right behind. He noticed the shopping bag in her hand and raised a brow. "Got something nice today?" Just the mention of the bag made her light up. She eagerly held it up for him to see. "What do you think? Pretty, right? I spotted this design in a fashion mag when it first dropped. Have been eyeing it forever. But it was only available at Wanqing Plaza, and they weren't discounting it. Over 30 grand for a bag? That's a month's paycheck for me. I couldn't justify it. But today they were doing a sale, and I was so scared someone else would snag it. Good thing I made it in time." Her whole face lit up when talking about something she liked. Emotions danced across her features. Nathaniel never really got the whole shopping vibe. He couldn't figure out how women could strut around malls in 7-inch heels for hours without tiring. Still, if she was happy, that was enough. He smiled as he pulled her inside. The living room was climate-controlled year-round, much cooler than outside. Mrs. Reed was surprised to see both of them back. She noticed Sophia's flushed face and quickly brought her a fresh juice. Nathaniel got a glass of cool water. "Thanks. Mrs. Reed, no need to be so polite, ma'am." Nathaniel took a sip and then said, "You can start lunch now." "You'll be eating at home today, sir?" "Yeah. Alrighty, I'll get right on it." Once Mrs. Reed had left, Sophia looked at Nathaniel. "You're not going to the office today?" "Not today." He didn't skip work because of her, right? Sophia straightened up. "Nathaniel, seriously, you don't have to worry about me. I'm really okay now. I was just a bit off earlier with that, but I've calmed down already. You don't need to babysit me or anything." "Mrs. Connor, I just wanted an excuse to slack off today." Oh, that was it. Nathaniel leaned lazily on the couch. Even in a relaxed pose, he still gave off that calm, elegant vibe. He was the type of guy who turned heads not just for his looks, but for his whole presence. Sophia sipped her juice, eyes slowly drifting over to him, and kind of got lost staring. "Mrs. Connor? Yeah? What are you spacing out about?" Sophia remembered the black card and, after some hesitation, decided to just ask. Tilting her head and biting her straw, she spoke softly. "Nathaniel, can I ask you something?" "Go ahead." "Well, you're good-looking, rich, obviously have options. Like, I bet there are tons of amazing women around you. With your whole vibe, you could date anyone you wanted. So why go on a blind date?" That question had bugged her for a while now. "And then, we just got married and you hand me a card with a crazy high limit, even gave me the password. Aren't you afraid that?" Nathaniel raised a brow. "Afraid of what?" "Afraid I might just drain your account and bail?" Chapter 42. You're the one. Good looking, huh? Nathaniel Connor gave a soft chuckle, his eyes warm. "First off, thanks for the compliment. Second, yeah, I do know quite a few amazing women. Some are ambitious business execs, others are pampered heiresses, but none of them really fit what I'm looking for. Honestly, I only agreed to blind dates because my family wouldn't stop pushing." Nathaniel was usually the quiet type, not one to talk much, but when it came to Sophia, he was surprisingly patient. Seeing her nod, he continued, "As for running off with the money," he straightened up and raised an eyebrow at her. "Would you? Would she? With that much money, who wouldn't be tempted?" Sophia cradled her juice, murmuring, "Who's to say, really? That kind of cash? That's enough for someone to live comfy for a lifetime. Heck, maybe 2. No worrying about anything. That kind of temptation? Massive. If you really ran off, you'd be the dumb one." "Huh?" Nathaniel locked eyes with her, his tone serious. "First of all, you'd be wanted by the cops, way too risky." He paused for effect, then added, "Second, if you're smart, you'd realize it's smarter to stick with me. Truth is, I'm worth a lot more than whatever's in that account, don't you think?" Sophia, okay, he had a point, but somehow all she could hear was, "I'm rich, super rich, so don't blow your shot." She covered her face. Why was her brain even thinking like that? Feeling awkward, Sophia quickly switched topics. "But marrying someone you barely know just like that? What if you find out later she's not a good person? Or your values clash badly? Or she's got some habit you just can't stand? What do you do then?" She went on, "It just seems really risky. If it doesn't work out, you go from never been married to divorcee for no reason." "Nope." "What?" "I'm not just marrying some random person." Sophia blinked, a little surprised. Mrs. Connor, I've been in business for years. Okay? What did that have to do with her question? She looked totally confused. I trust my instincts, and I trust my judgment. He gently took her hand and said seriously, You're the one I believe is right for me. After the time we've spent together, I'm even more sure of it. Sophia froze again. Was he confessing? Her cheeks turned pink, and guilt followed right after. Compared to how thoughtful and gentle Nathanial was, she felt like she hadn't done much for him. Plus, her past, her eyes dimmed. She lowered her gaze and slowly pulled her hand back. Nathanial, I'm not as perfect as you think. Once you really get to know me, there's a chance you'll regret all this. I won't, he said firmly. Sophia let out a faint smile and didn't argue anymore. Nathaniel could be this sure now, only because he didn't know about the things she'd been through. If he ever found out, she was sure he wouldn't be saying this. Her thoughts began to drift. There were only 2 months left until Nathaniel had to return to Linjiang. They'd go back together. And when that happened, they'd definitely run into people from the past. When that time comes, her past wouldn't stay hidden anymore. What was she supposed to do then? Nathaniel gently held her hand again, silently. Whatever happens, let time speak for itself. Chapter 43. Nathaniel's Thoughtfulness. After lunch, Nathaniel's phone kept buzzing. He glanced at the caller ID, frowning as he declined the calls one after another. After the 4th or 5th time, clearly out of patience, he finally answered. What is it? Whatever he heard made his face turn even colder. His voice dropped, flat and full of pressure. Are you people just collecting paychecks for nothing? You can't even handle something this basic? Stop making excuses. Fix it yourselves. That's it. When Nathaniel worked, the serious vibe he gave off was no joke. Even Charlie shrank into the couch visibly. It was the first time Sophia had seen this side of him, so sharp and commanding. Caught off guard, she sat there a bit stunned. The tension sat heavy in the living room until he finally hung up and noticed how quiet it had gotten. He cleared his throat slightly. Sorry about that. If there's something urgent at work, really, go ahead. It's fine. I'm taking the day off. She figured it was because he was worried about her. Her heart warmed, but she didn't want him putting off work just for her. Sitting beside him, she spoke softly. Seriously, I'm okay now. I feel a lot more at peace. You don't have to stay just for me. He gave a half smile, but didn't respond, and definitely wasn't heading out. So she let it go. Later that afternoon, Sophia sat under the patio umbrella, flipping through a fashion magazine with Charlie snuggled in her lap. Nathaniel scrolled through stock data on his tablet. Neither spoke, but the mood was calm and gentle. Since getting married, both had always been busy. This kind of chill time together was rare. Of course, it would have been perfect if Nathaniel's phone wasn't still blowing up. He grabbed the phone and looked like he was about to just turn it off. You should take it. What if it's actually something important? Nathaniel took a sharp breath, clearly trying to keep his cool. He answered, and as the call went on, his face turned more and more serious. Got it. After he hung up, he caught Sophia's concerned look and said apologetically, Looks like I won't be able to stick around this afternoon. Don't worry about me. Go handle your stuff. I've got Charlie here. She gave the pup a little head rub, and Charlie barked twice, happily nosing his head into Sophia's chest. Nathaniel. He gave Charlie a deep, unreadable look before finally leaving. After he left, Mrs. Reed brought Sophia another glass of juice. She smiled, eyes curving. Mrs. Reed, Nathaniel's lucky to have you around, though, if the juice were chilled, it'd be even better. Oh, no can do. After spending some time together, Mrs. Reed and Sophia had become pretty close. The older woman smiled as she answered, The young master specifically told me you shouldn't be having cold drinks. He said it's bad for women's health as they get older. Nathaniel seriously thought of even that. Sophia's heart felt so warm. Mrs. Reed added, Don't let his frosty face fool you, ma'am. When he cares about someone, he's incredibly thoughtful. Did she mean she was someone Nathaniel cared about? Sophia's cheeks turned slightly pink. Our young master is known for being a total workaholic. The fact that he bailed on work today just for you, please make sure you treat him well. As if Sophia needed the reminder. By evening, Sophia got a call from Lily Hudson. What's up? Ignoring the icy note in Sophia's voice, Lily giggled. Sis, my gig at Wangshan Plaza just wrapped up. Oliver and I booked a private room at a hotel downtown tonight. You and your boyfriend should totally come by. Chapter 44, The Real You. He's working today, doesn't have the time. Sophia turned her down without even thinking. Last thing she wanted was Nathaniel hearing about her past from Lily. Well, then why don't you come over? You're off today, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't have been shopping at Wangshan Plaza. Lily Hudson, I don't think there's anything left to say between me, you, and Oliver. If there's something important, just say it over the phone. Sis, I already called Mom. When she heard I ran into you, she specifically told me to pass a message to you. You sure you don't want to hear it? Mom, Sophia clenched her phone tighter. Lily chuckled softly with a knowing tone. She was sure Sophia would come and casually gave her the address. 6 p.m., room 2 at Anran Hotel. Anran Hotel. What did she say? She agreed to meet me tonight, Lily said, sounding torn. But she made it clear she doesn't want to see you. If you come, she won't. Oliver furrowed his brow. So she really doesn't want to see him. If you really want to see her, why don't we just go together? She can't possibly walk out the second she sees you. Oliver let out a helpless smile. He'd known Sophia for ages. Trust him. If she didn't want to see someone, she'd absolutely walk out on the spot. He sighed, gently patting Lily's shoulder. You go. It's been over 2 years since you two last saw each other. Have a decent chat. I'll sit this one out. Well, all right then. 6 p.m. sharp. Lily was attending an event at Wangshan Plaza, and the organizer had already booked her a room at Anran Hotel. She got ready ahead of time and arrived just before 6. Right on time, Sophia showed up. Lily was sitting on a leather couch when she heard the door open and turned toward the sound, momentarily stunned. Sophia was dressed simply, a white blouse, black knee-length skirt, hair draped casually over her shoulders. She carried a red and black handbag. Nothing fancy, but with her gorgeous features and elegant figure, she had that effortless glow, enough to outshine Lily herself, a literal celebrity. Lily bit her lip gently. Since they were kids, no matter what it was, Sophia always managed to outdo her. Lily knew she was good too, but whenever Sophia was around, all eyes would find her and stay there. Guided by the waiter, Sophia took a seat on the couch across from Lily. Her gaze swept the room. Oliver was nowhere to be seen. Something came up for him. He can't make it, Lily offered quickly. Sophia picked up on it right away. She had said her boyfriend couldn't come, so Lily deliberately kept Oliver away too. If Nathaniel had shown up, Lily definitely would have brought Oliver, just to crush his hopes completely. But since Nathaniel didn't come, there was no point in giving Sophia the chance to be alone with Oliver. Sophia saw right through Lily's little game. But honestly, she didn't want to see Oliver anyway, so there was no need to call her out. What did Mom want you to tell me? No rush. Lily forced a smile. Sis, it's been so long since we've seen each other. I already ordered food. Let's eat and talk. There's nobody else here but us. What's the point of putting on this fake act? Lily's smile faltered for a second. She quickly composed herself, but her smile started to fade bit by bit. Her eyes grew cold. Without the usual sweetness, she looked less like the innocent girl she pretended to be, and more like a snake, ready to strike at any moment. There, that's more like the real you. You didn't call me here just to pass on a message from Mom, did you? Just say what you really want. Chapter 45, Fine, then no one gets to be happy. Sophia Williams, do you even realize how much I hate that smug face of yours? Lily Hudson glared at her, fists clenched tight. After what happened 2 years ago, what makes you think you've got the right to act all high and mighty? Sophia's expression shifted slightly. 2 years ago. Again. Why did everyone lately seem hell-bent on dragging that mess up again? Was kicking someone when they're down that satisfying? Clenching her bag, Sophia abruptly stood up and stared coldly at Lily. If that's all you came here to say, we're done. Don't waste my time. With that, she turned to leave. Stop right there. Sophia didn't even flinch and kept walking toward the door. Lily, fuming, stomped forward and blocked her path. Her voice rose with anger. Wow, so after all this time you've grown a temper too, huh? Sophia's face remained blank. She didn't come here to be mocked. She had better things to do. Say what you came to say, she said flatly. Fine. Lily managed to hold her temper, just barely, After all, she was the one who had something to bring up. Look, you've got a boyfriend now, so let me be straight with you. Stay away from Oliver Bennett if you don't want your man finding out about your little past. A threat? Lily smirked. Too bad I don't scare that easy. Lily's smile vanished, her face instantly darkening. She stared at Sophia furiously. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing much. Sophia shrugged, her face innocent as can be. Go ahead, tell my boyfriend whatever you want. I really couldn't care less. Worst case scenario. Yeah? Worst case what? Worst case, we break up, and after that, I'll go after Oliver myself. You were there at the mall today. You saw his face. Still totally not over me, right? So tell me, if I start cozying up to him again, would he even spare you a glance? You wouldn't dare. Sophia Williams, I dare you. Sophia smiled calmly at Lily's furious face. You started it with the threats, not me. Damn it. Lily was practically shaking with rage. Sophia Williams was her biggest nightmare in this life. She clenched her jaw hard. What exactly do you want? You should be asking yourself that. Sophia's voice turned icy. Lily, if you've got some silly idea that your crush on Oliver Bennett somehow involves me, think again. But if you keep messing with my life, I swear, I'll burn it all down. No one's walking away clean. I can leave you alone, but you better stay away from Oliver too. Sophia just chuckled and didn't bother responding. Sophia Williams, can you at least give me a straight answer? Getting nervous? Sophia, don't mistake me for your rival. If Oliver and I had a chance of fixing things, we'd be back together by now. So cut it out. And let me remind you, Oliver's got a fiancé now. Everyone in Linjiang knows that. If you cross that line, you're the other woman. Got it? This has nothing to do with you, so back off. Sophia shrugged. She was being nice, didn't mean Lily had to appreciate it. Right then, there was a knock at the door. The waiter had arrived with their food. Sophia didn't even glance at the dishes. She had no intention of eating with Lily. Well, that's everything out in the open. I'm leaving. Honestly, I lost my appetite the second I saw your face. Lily glared, seething. Sophia gave a faint laugh, quickly packed up her stuff and was about to take off. But suddenly, she paused and turned to look at Lily again. Did Mom really ask you to pass along a message? Chapter 46, is it good? Mom said that since I've got a boyfriend now, I better never show my face in Linjiang City again. She's too embarrassed. On the couch, Sophia sat holding Charlie, still hearing Lily Hudson's words echoing in her head. She lowered her gaze, lips pulling up in a bitter grin. No wonder her mom had kept setting her up with blind dates. All this time, she'd thought her mom was just harsh with words, but genuinely cared about her future. Turns out, it wasn't that deep. Bark, 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 bark! Suddenly, Charlie squirmed out of her arms like he was triggered by something and bolted toward the door, his little legs moving fast. Sophia turned just in time to see Nathanial Connor standing at the entrance in his crisp suit. Don't know why, but the moment she saw him, her chest tightened and her eyes started to sting. Blinking fast to keep the tears away, she watched Nathaniel bend down to pick up Charlie. Done with work? Did you eat yet? He asked simply. Yeah, she replied. What about you? Already ate. Barely had the words left her mouth before her stomach loudly betrayed her with a grumble, loud enough for James Reed by the door to hear. Seriously? Her cheeks flushed with embarrassment, and she quickly laid a hand over her stomach. She had told Mrs. Reed she was eating out, but after that whole mess with Lily, food was the last thing on her mind. By the time she got home, Mrs. Reed had already eaten, and Sophia didn't have the appetite to explain, just said she'd eaten too. Who knew Nathaniel would catch her like this as soon as he walked in? I'll ask Mrs. Reed to make something. It's already past 9. She's probably in bed. I'll just make something myself. Want me to whip up something for you too? Sure. Sophia jumped off the couch and headed straight for the kitchen. Nathaniel followed slowly behind, still holding Charlie. Need a hand? Thinking of how he had absolutely butchered green onions last time, Sophia opened the fridge and scanned the fully stocked shelves. Her eyes lit up as an idea hit her. Do you know what Sijiking is? She looked back at him, and sure enough, his face was blank. Yeah, forget it. Sigh. Whose young master is this? Seriously? Doesn't even recognize basic veggies? Sophia tied on the apron with practiced ease, pulled some leafy greens from the fridge, and glanced at the half-frozen cuts of meat. An idea immediately popped into her head. "You're making dough?" Nathaniel asked. "Yeah," she replied, thinking about having some noodles. It was chilly in the villa with the AC on full blast. After sitting on the couch, zoning out for 2 hours, her hands and feet were icy cold. She just wanted something hot to warm herself up. She got right to kneading, her movements smooth and skilled, like she'd done this 100 times. Before long, the dough was neat and elastic, and Nathaniel watched with genuine awe. "You actually know how to make noodles from scratch?" Sophia grinned. "Just a little something I picked up." After letting the dough rest, she grabbed a prime slab of beef brisket from the fridge, rinsed it clean, and sliced it into tiny cubes. Then came the spicy bean paste and a bunch of aromatic spices. Time to cook. As soon as she hit the wok, the whole kitchen lit up with mouth-watering smells. It was so good that James wandered in, nose twitching in the air. "Ma'am, what are you making? Smells amazing!" "Braised beef noodles," Sophia answered cheerfully. "I made extra. Want some?" "Oh, definitely." James started only to catch his boss's cold stare. He immediately froze, let out an awkward laugh, then backed out. "Actually, I already had dinner." And just like that, he retreated in a hurry. Sophia chuckled and went on cooking. After stir-frying the aromatics, she added water and let the brisket simmer on low heat for over an hour until it was melt-in-your-mouth tender. Then came the noodle making. She pulled and stretched the dough into long, thin strands before tossing them in to boil. By now, the whole kitchen was practically a food ad, rich, spicy aroma hanging in the air. Nathaniel hadn't even been that hungry before, but the smell hit him hard. His stomach gave in first, and even Charlie in his arms started drooling, letting out tiny whimpers, eyes locked on the pot. Time to turn off the heat. Lid off. The pot held a generous helping of noodles, glistening with a layer of red chili oil, topped with beef and fresh greens. Just looking at it made your mouth water. "Wow, smells incredible." Sophia scooped a bowl for Nathaniel and handed it over. As he took the first bite, she watched him intently, nervous. "So, is it good?" Chapter 47. This little thing sleeps in your bed? Nathaniel stayed silent, just gave her a thumbs up. Sophia broke into a bright smile. She scooped herself a bowl too, then served a small Charlie, who happily bounced over to a corner and started munching with glee. Mrs. Connor. James looked at Sophia with puppy dog eyes. "There's more in the pot. Help yourself." "You got it." With Sophia giving the green light, James wasn't scared of Nathaniel anymore. Grinning, he rushed to the kitchen and filled up a bowl. The group gathered around the coffee table and started eating. Sophia and James had one bowl each, while Nathaniel quietly polished off 2 big ones. Afterward, James wiped his mouth, his eyes glued to the empty pot, not even a drop of broth left. Damn, that was delicious. I swear I didn't know noodles could taste this good. Way better than spaghetti or whatever. Really? Realer than real gold, Sophia chuckled. "Mrs. Connor, you've seriously got some skills with Sichuan dishes. I'm telling you, if you opened a restaurant, you'd be rolling in cash." "You talk too much," Nathaniel finally said. "Go wash the dishes." James? Jealous much? Yeah, Mr. Connor was straight up jealous. James figured the boss just didn't like how well he and Sophia were getting along, so now he was picking on him. He grumbled inside but didn't dare talk back, so he took the bowls and headed to the kitchen to clean up. Later, Sophia changed Nathaniel's bandages. She hadn't forgotten this time. After meeting with Lily, she'd made a stop at the pharmacy to grab disinfectant and other stuff. "Still hurting?" Nathaniel was about to say no, but caught her concerned look and for some reason said, "A bit." "Well, duh, glass shards stuck in your hand are gonna hurt." Sophia moved deftly, disinfecting the wound, applying the ointment, and rewrapping it in fresh gauze. "All right, just be careful not to get it wet when you shower. Otherwise, it'll take longer to heal." Nathaniel relaxed a bit and nodded. Once everything was packed up, Sophia picked up Charlie and headed upstairs. Nathaniel's gaze followed the little dog in her arms, his brows slightly drawn. He pressed his lips together and slowly trailed after her. "Can I come in?" he asked, stopping at her door. Yeah, of course." Looking a bit uneasy, Sophia opened the door and let him in. It was actually the first time Nathaniel had entered her room since they got married 2 weeks ago. Thankfully, the cleaning lady came regularly, so the place was tidy, way neater than her old place. Still, the huge room suddenly felt kind of cramped just because he was in it. Her heart started racing. If Nathaniel made any kind of move on her, they were legally married. She wouldn't really have a reason to say no. "Mrs. Connor!" "Ah?" Sophia snapped out of her spiral. "I'll just sit here for a bit. Pretend I'm not even here. Do your thing." Sophia, how the heck was she supposed to pretend he wasn't there? This man took up so much space, it was like the air thinned out the moment he walked in. Thank God she wasn't getting ready for bed yet. She opened the bathroom door, adjusted the shower temp, and Charlie instantly trotted over, tail wagging like crazy, waiting for his spa service. Giving Charlie a bath? Yeah, he loves water, loves getting bathed. I do it every day. Nathaniel leaned against the doorframe, eyes narrowing slightly as he watched. Charlie looked completely in bliss. Sophia was really good at this. She rinsed him down, foamed him up, used a special dog brush to comb through his fur, rinsed off the suds, then blow-dried him until he was all fluffy. And as soon as he was dry, Charlie did a bounce and jumped straight onto the bed, circling a few times before curling up into a cozy little ball. Nathaniel's frown deepened. "This little thing sleeps in your bed?" Chapter 48, Jealousy. "This little furball sleeps in the same bed with you?" "Yeah, what's the problem?" "Oh, there's a problem, all right. A massive one. He and Sophia have been married for ages, and because he was worried she might have some psychological barrier, he hadn't even dared step into her room. But Charlie? That dog gets to share her bed every night?" Nathaniel clenched his jaw. He couldn't believe it. He was actually jealous of a dog. "Sophia, it's an animal. And not just any animal, a male dog. God knows how much he wanted to strangle that mutt every time he saw it snuggling up to her like that." "I know, okay," Sophia replied without even looking up as she cleaned the bathroom. "Charlie takes a bath every day. He's squeaky clean." Nathaniel couldn't win her over with reason, so Nathaniel decided to handle the dog directly. Leaning against the doorframe, he narrowed his eyes at Charlie. The pup instantly picked up on the threat and shrank into the covers with a frightened little whimper. "What's wrong with Charlie?" "Nothing," Nathaniel said, face calm as ever. "Maybe he's just not sleepy yet." "Oh." Sophia didn't press and went back to scrubbing the bathroom. Nathaniel slowly walked from the bathroom to the bed, coldly glaring at Charlie. He pointed toward the door. Whimper, howl. Charlie curled up into the corner, clearly not wanting to move. Nathaniel's glare turned downright frosty. Eventually, Charlie gave in under Nathaniel's silent pressure. Head lowered, he hopped off the bed step by step with extreme reluctance, whining pitifully as he padded out. He kept glancing toward the bathroom for help, but Nathaniel effortlessly stepped in the way, blocking his line of sight. "Charlie." "Wait, where's Charlie?" Sophia asked, scanning the room after finishing up in the bathroom. "He went outside to play." "Really? That lazy fluffball usually just wants to snuggle after a bath. Since when is he this energetic?" Nathaniel's lips curved slightly, but he stayed quiet. Sophia didn't say any more. By 11 p.m., the villa was completely silent. With no background noise, the room suddenly felt super awkward. Sophia stood there awkwardly, her brain all fuzzy and blank, totally lost on what to say. Nathaniel, meanwhile, looked completely chill, not awkward at all. "Sophia?" Wait a minute, was he seriously not planning to leave tonight? The thought made her heart race like crazy. Palms sweating, she stammered, Nathaniel." He looked up at her, eyes deep like a calm lake. When he focused like that, it was like his gaze had hooks, dragging people in and not letting go. Oh my God, let go of desires, everything is an illusion. Sophia squeezed her eyes shut and chanted this in her mind several times before finally pulling herself together. Not daring to look him in the eyes, she clutched her fists and muttered, "So, don't you have work tomorrow? Maybe you should head to bed early?" "I don't have work tomorrow." "Huh?" Sophia blinked in surprise. Nathaniel gave her a small smile, voice gentle. "I've already settled into Lincoln City, so work's lightening up. No more overtime every day. And tomorrow's Sunday. I'm off." Sophia. So now what? How was she supposed to get him to go back to his own room? Before she could think of anything, Nathaniel took a step toward her. With each step he took, her breathing slowed. When he finally stood close to her, she nearly forgot how to breathe entirely. Just as she was about to force out some small talk to break the tension, Nathaniel suddenly bent down toward her. Nathaniel, what are you doing? Chapter 49, First Kiss. Nathaniel didn't say a word. He leaned down, slowly closing the distance. Just when Sophia felt like her heart was about to give out from nervousness, his movement suddenly halted. She felt his warm hand brush gently through her hair, then he stepped back 2 steps. She looked up and saw the foam on his fingers. Her cheeks flushed crimson in an instant. So he was just clearing the soap bubbles from her hair. And she really thought, ugh, could she be any more embarrassing? Mrs. Connor, what did you think I was going to do? Nathaniel teased, eyes glinting with mischief. Hey, Sophia was dying inside. If there were a hole nearby, she'd dive in head first. You thought I was going to kiss you? No, absolutely not. Sophia shook her head like a rattle drum. I know you're a proper gentleman, not that kind of guy. A proper gentleman, huh? Sophia felt slightly relieved until Nathaniel finished that sentence with, but I'm no monk. Huh? She blinked, not catching on right away. Before she could process it, Nathaniel curved his lips into a smirk, pulled her waist into his arms with one hand, and the other rested gently behind her head. Then, without warning, he dipped down and kissed her softly on the lips. Her entire body went stiff, eyes widened. They were so close, she could feel the warmth of his breath on her cheeks, smell that faint tea blossom scent clinging to him. Like a feather's touch, the kiss was over in a blink. Thump, thump, thump. Her heart raced like crazy. She just stood there, frozen, like a kid caught doing something wrong. Nathaniel gave a satisfied nod. A kiss was fair payment, considering Sophia read Charlie to sleep every night. Mrs. Connor, good night. He turned and left the room, while Sophia only snapped back to reality long after. He actually took her first kiss. Her kiss. No one knew this, but Sophia was super conservative. She'd dated Oliver for 5 whole years and never even crossed the line once. At most, they'd held hands or maybe a quick kiss on the forehead during special moments. Thinking of Oliver, Sophia's mood tanked. She took a deep breath, forced the rising gloom back down, then washed up and crawled into bed. She had a dream. A grand hotel, wedding bells ringing, the classical march playing as she walked down the aisle in a white wedding dress, holding on to Oliver's arm. Guests laughed and cheered. Flower petals fluttered all around like a fairy tale. But then, her perfect gown turned blood red, soaking with blood. She felt like she was drowning, couldn't breathe. Oliver, help me, please. Drop dead. He shoved her hand away, and she plunged into dark waters, screaming and struggling as the cold swallowed her. Sophia jolted awake from the nightmare, drenched in sweat. Her chest rose and fell in panicked gasps. Charlie! Charlie! It'd been a long time since she had such a nightmare. Whenever she did, hugging Charlie always helped her calm down. She flipped on the light. The imagery from her dream was so vivid it made her tremble. Covering her face, her whole body shook uncontrollably. The whole house was too quiet. It made the silence unbearable. The more she remembered the dream, the more scared she got, her face pale as a sheet. With Charlie nowhere nearby, she staggered out of bed and to the door, only for the door across the hallway to swing open. There stood Nathaniel, concern written all over his face. Sophia's taut nerves instantly unraveled. Sophia. Nathaniel, can I sleep with you tonight? Chapter 50, Sleeping Together. Nathaniel, can I sleep with you tonight? As soon as the words were out, Sophia snapped back to her senses. She was just scared and instinctively leaned on Nathaniel for comfort, but her words sounded way too suggestive. What if he took it the wrong way? Come in, he cut her off. Nathaniel glanced over her quickly, his eyes darkening when he noticed the sweat on her forehead. Let's talk inside. Okay. Nathaniel's room was nothing like hers. It had that sleek, modern vibe. Everything was in shades of black, white, and gray. Not a speck of dust in sight, and honestly, it looked like those fancy model homes in brochures, picture perfect from every angle. The big black bed was covered in gray silk sheets, a little messy from him getting up in a rush. But what really caught her eye, finally, was Charlie, curled up at the corner of the bed. The second the dog spotted her, he barked excitedly and waddled over with his stubby legs. Sophia bent down and scooped him up, hugging him tight. The warmth in her arms slowly calmed her thudding heart. Charlie licked her palms non-stop, clearly overjoyed. "Nathaniel, come on up." Nathaniel was already on the bed, lifting the blanket. His voice was gentle. "Get some rest." What is it?" he asked with a soft laugh, eyes fixed on her. "Didn't you just say you wanted to sleep here tonight?" She hadn't thought it through. She was just terrified from the nightmare and panicking about not finding Charlie. And now Nathaniel really took her seriously. Looking at the blanket he was holding up, she felt like she'd just dug a hole and jumped right in. I could just take Charlie and head back. It's already past 1 a.m. "Just sleep," he said, totally shutting down her chance to protest. Sophia. So she had no choice but to shuffle to the bed and lie on the other side, body stiff as a board. Nathaniel laid down too and turned off the lights with the remote. The room went completely dark. Instead of fear, tension gripped her now. Mostly because the bed was way too soft. Nathaniel's weight made it sink on his side, creating a dip, and she kept sliding toward him no matter how hard she tried to stay put. Like a caterpillar, she started inching toward the edge, but every time she adjusted, she'd end up sliding back again. Just as she was about to scoot away again, Nathaniel's arm reached over and wrapped around her waist. "Stop moving." Sophia froze. "Nathaniel, don't be scared." His voice sounded deeper in the dark, low and reassuring. "I told you, I'll wait until you're ready." Her nose stung a little. He really was the most respectful guy she'd ever met. They were legally married now, so technically, he had every right to expect anything. But he never pushed, never even suggested anything that made her uncomfortable. She sniffled and slowly relaxed. "Sleep. I'm here," he murmured. She thought she'd be tossing and turning, but the camellia scent that wrapped around her, uniquely his, calmed her in seconds. With that comforting smell around her, she closed her eyes and drifted off not long after. When her breathing finally settled into a steady rhythm, Nathaniel opened his eyes. He'd adjusted to the dark. His fingers brushed a few damp strands of her hair off her face. It was still sticky from the cold sweat caused by the nightmare. In the quiet night, he gently tucked the hair behind her ear. His voice was soft, yet chilly like the night air. "The nightmare, it's because you saw him today, right? Sophia, it's been 2 years. When will you finally let him go?" Chapter 51, Not in the Mood, slept like a rock. It was 9 in the morning when Sophia finally woke up. She blinked a few times, staring at the unfamiliar room before last night's chaos hit her like a truck. "Sophia Williams, you really outdid yourself this time. That was peak embarrassment." She groaned, yanking at her hair in frustration over her meltdown from last night. Thank God Nathaniel wasn't in the room anymore. She'd probably have dug a hole to disappear into from sheer awkwardness. "Woof! Woof, woof!" "Charlie!" The little furball jumped straight into her arms. She caught him quickly, hugging him tight. After a full night's sleep, all those nightmares felt like someone else's problem. Sophia was finally back to her usual self. "All right, buddy, let's go. We can't just crash in someone else's room forever." She scooped up Charlie and rushed back to her room to shower and freshen up. It was Sunday, no need to worry about work. She threw on a plain white tee and a denim skirt that stopped just above the knee. Her hair was tied up in a ponytail, the whole look giving major fresh-out-of-college vibes. After dabbing on some skincare, the tired look from last night was totally gone. She nodded in approval, satisfied. Can't lie, Nathaniel had good taste. This skincare kit, top-notch. He'd asked Mrs. Reed to get it for her. The price tag had hurt, but with effects like these, she couldn't even complain. Holding Charlie, Sophia trotted down the stairs. As soon as she hit the landing, she spotted Nathaniel sitting on the couch, totally still like always. Just like every morning, he was holding a financial newspaper, looking all serious. Hearing her footsteps, he looked up. For a second, he froze when he saw her outfit. His eyes darkened slightly, but it passed in a blink. "Up already?" "Yeah." Sophia scratched her head, a bit sheepish. "Totally overslept. No big deal. Weekends are for catching up on sleep." Nathaniel set the paper aside and turned to Mrs. Reed. "Let's get breakfast ready." "You guys haven't eaten yet?" Sophia quickened her pace down the stairs. "Nope." Mrs. Reed shot her a wink. "Young master said he'd wait until ma'am was up." Sophia felt her cheeks heat up looking at Nathaniel's calm face, equal parts embarrassment and gratitude. By the time they finished breakfast, it was already 10:30. The sun outside was getting intense, and Sophia really had no intention of heading out. She curled up on the couch with Charlie, phone in hand, chatting with authors in their group chat. Talking to someone? Just answering some author questions. Nathaniel frowned a bit. Aren't you supposed to be off today? Without looking up, Sophia kept tapping away on her screen. That's just how it is in our line of work. We're technically always working. The plus, you don't have to be in the office. Downside, even on rest days, things come up. Nathaniel gave a small nod, looking thoughtful. His gaze lingered on Sophia's laughing face a beat longer. Her expression was light, happy, completely lit up. You really enjoy this job, huh? Totally. As soon as she got talking about work, she lit up even more. My major had zero to do with publishing. When I moved to Lixon City, I'd only been out of school for like 2 years. Finding a decent gig was hard. I saw the editor job online and thought, why not? Ended up passing the interview and boom, I'm an editor. Honestly, it's fun. Most of the writers are introverts, don't go out much, so they're pretty chill and easy to deal with. I really like working with them. Nathaniel listened quietly as Sophia shared little stories from work, the corners of his eyes softening with every word. But there was one thing really getting on his nerves. His eyes narrowed at Charlie, who was all snug in Sophia's lap, squirming like someone was giving him a deluxe belly rub, totally milking it. Nathaniel, silent. His face tightened just a bit. That dog was just getting way too comfortable. Chapter 52, Our Daughter-in-Law. So, when James Reed came back around noon holding a fluffy little female poodle in his arms, Nathaniel Connor finally relaxed his frown. Ah, what a cute little pup! The toy poodle in James's arms had a rich red coat, perfectly groomed, with those big round eyes that just screamed adorable. Sophia Williams fell for it at first glance. She's gorgeous. Sophia cradled the pup like she was holding treasure. James, where did you get her? This is too cute. Nathaniel told me to pick her up. Huh? Sophia turned to Nathaniel immediately. Nathaniel stood up from the couch with a calm air, glanced over at Charlie, then said lightly, a little company for him. Sophia was straight up touched. How could Nathaniel be this thoughtful? Charlie usually stuck close to her like glue, but she was often tied up with work and couldn't always be home. Nathaniel must have noticed the little guy getting lonely, so he got a female pup to keep him company. Nathaniel, thank you so much. The corners of Nathaniel's lips curled up, a rare softness showing in his eyes. He looked at Sophia, then at Charlie, then just barely kept his expression from twisting. Probably only he knew. The real reason their boss bought the dog was because he was jealous of Charlie's attention. So he brought in another pup to take some of it away. What's her name? Buddy, Nathaniel said. She's our daughter-in-law. Daughter-in-law? Sophia froze for a second. She always joked that Charlie was her son, so now with Buddy around, that made Buddy their daughter-in-law. Still, that was such a cute name. Buddy and Charlie. Buddy and Charlie. It actually sounded perfect together. Sophia gently set Buddy down next to Charlie. As expected, Charlie got all excited and started bouncing around her. Buddy, on the other hand, looked around warily, probably still getting used to this new place, and scurried off across the living room floor. Woof! 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 Charlie's eyes lit up, and his little legs carried him right after her. Nathaniel gave a small, satisfied nod when he saw that. James. Gotta hand it to the boss. One move and he'd diverted Charlie's attention and made the missus fall for him all over again. Sophia had been so sure that spending the whole day with Nathaniel would be awkward as hell, but to her surprise, it wasn't at all. Nathaniel had this way of being warm but never too close, always keeping just the right amount of distance that she didn't feel overwhelmed. Plus, she realized the guy knew everything. No matter what topic she brought up, Nathaniel always responded with a smile and something insightful. Before she even noticed it, they'd chatted a lot. Long story short, it was actually a really chill day with him. But someone always had to come along and ruin the mood. Around 4 in the afternoon, Sophia's phone rang. The number wasn't saved, but the moment she saw it, her smile froze right off her face. There was no need to save it. That number was burned into her memory. It was Oliver Bennett. "What's wrong?" Nathaniel asked. "Nothing." The nightmare from the night before flashed through her mind again. Her chest ached, sharp like a thorn twisting inside. She pressed her lips together and hit end without a second thought. She had said everything to Oliver yesterday. Clear enough. There was no need for any kind of reunion, no matter what reason he might have. She didn't want any more ties to him. But Oliver wouldn't quit. He called back almost immediately. Just as Sophia was about to hit end again, Nathaniel's cool voice came from beside her. "Might be someone you know. Pick it up." Chapter 53. Someone Who Doesn't Matter. Sophia didn't pick up. Without hesitation, she hit the decline button again. She really didn't want to talk to Oliver Bennett, and even more than that, she didn't want Nathaniel Connor to learn about her messy past, especially not from someone else. Even if she planned to come clean with him one day, it definitely wouldn't be through secondhand gossip. He's just someone irrelevant. Even after she sent him to voicemail twice, Oliver still wouldn't give up. When her phone rang again, Sophia simply turned it off. Nathaniel stared at her silently, his dark eyes gradually becoming unreadable. The next morning, Sophia got ready early. Today was kind of a big deal, so she'd gone the extra mile with her outfit. She wore a sleek black tailored pantsuit over a crisp white shirt, paired with a fitted pencil skirt that hit just at the knees. Her long hair was left loose, her makeup light but flawless, polished and professional with a touch of femininity. When she came downstairs, Nathaniel was already on the couch reading the paper like always. Hearing her footsteps, he looked up, and for a beat, even his breath seemed to pause. "Morning," Sophia smiled at him. "Morning," he replied, snapping out of it. His gaze slid away from her legs, his brows twitching just the tiniest bit. The way he looked at her made Sophia a little self-conscious. She hesitated on the last step and rubbed her cheek awkwardly. "Do I have something on my face? Nope. Oh." Nathaniel shifted his eyes and stood up, putting the newspaper down as he headed toward the dining room. "Mrs. Reed already made breakfast. Let's eat before we go." "Okay." Sophia set her purse on the couch and walked beside him toward the dining area. 1 second, 2 seconds. Still no conversation. Kind of awkward. She remembered he'd seemed off yesterday, but she honestly had no clue what she'd done to upset him. Nathaniel was great in a lot of ways, but man, his moods could be hard to figure out sometimes. She cleared her throat. He glanced at her, and she gave a sheepish smile, scratching her head. How's your hand feeling? Still hurting?" "It hurts." "Still? Did she miss a piece of glass in the wound or something? That could be pretty bad." She immediately tensed. "Maybe we should get it checked out at the hospital? Don't you have an important day at work?" "It's fine. I'll just take a little time off. We'll go together and I'll head in afterward." "So, he's more important than work?" The corners of Nathaniel's lips lifted in a subtle, warm smile. Sophia blinked. Wait, what just happened? Wasn't he all distant and cold a moment ago? He sure changed gears fast. They say women are impossible to read, but guys aren't any better sometimes. "Nathaniel," he nodded slightly, his voice calm, "let's have lunch together today." "Sophia, what now?" She was talking about the hospital. How did he jump straight to lunch plans? "I might be super busy today. Can't promise I'll have time to slip away." Nathaniel gave her this knowing smile like he already knew something she didn't. "Don't worry, you'll have time." When Sophia arrived at the office, she noticed people from other departments giving her weird looks. It only made sense once she got to the editorial team. "Chief editor, finally you're here." "What happened?" Chloe rushed over, totally fuming. "It's that awful Emma again. That woman is the worst. She didn't get the bag she wanted the other day, and now she's spreading rumors early this morning, saying you're being kept by some old ugly guy. Half the office is gossiping about it now." Pfft. Sophia nearly choked. Seriously? Old and ugly? If even Nathaniel counts as old and ugly, then there might as well not be any good-looking guys left in the world. She shrugged and sat down calmly, looking totally unfazed. "You're not even mad, Chief? What's there to be mad about?" Sophia glanced at the still angry editors and felt this sudden warmth inside. She put a hand on Chloe's shoulder and chuckled. "She's just bitter because she can't get what she wants. Let her talk, I honestly don't care." But she's seriously slandering you. Exactly. You're not like that at all, Chief. Who does she think she is? People can say whatever they want. It's their mouths, not mine. Sophia clearly didn't take it to heart. As long as Emma didn't mess with her work, she couldn't care less what nonsense she spewed. And whether Nathanial was old or ugly, well, she knew the truth better than anyone else. You're just too chill about all this. Chief, that's why Emma feels like she can walk all over you. All right, enough already. Don't let it mess with your mood. The guys from Innovation Net and Cloudlit are coming in today. Focus on your tasks. For now, let's just get through the acquisition stuff first. All right then. The reps from Cloudlit and Innovation Net were scheduled to visit in the morning and afternoon, respectively. It wasn't even 10 yet when the Cloudlit team arrived at the company entrance. To show how important the meeting was, Grace personally led the department heads to greet them out front. Sophia, as head of the editorial team, of course, went too. She followed behind Grace, spotting the vehicles parked outside. As much as she tried to stay calm, her heart beat just a bit faster. She already had a feeling. But when the car door finally opened, she still instinctively held her breath. The man who stepped out wore a sharp suit, tall and lean. Handsome, pale skin, and a pair of rimless glasses perched on his nose. His whole vibe was refined and polite. It was Oliver Bennett. "Miss Mason! Mr. Bennett!" Oliver greeted Grace with a warm, easy smile as they shook hands. He was so polite and composed, there wasn't a single thing you could nitpick. His eyes casually drifted past her and landed naturally on Sophia. Sophia pressed her lips together and quickly looked away. "Sophia, long time no see." Grace blinked. "You two know each other?" "We were in college together." "Oh, wow! Small world. Sophia, you never mentioned that." All Sophia could do was give Grace an awkward smile. They quickly moved into the building, and since Sophia had this past connection with Oliver, Grace naturally had her show him around. Meanwhile, behind them, watching the way Oliver looked at Sophia, Lucas clenched his jaw tight. That vile little snake. Just how many men had she managed to hook? She dared to make him a joke in the office? Fine, she had it coming. He'd make sure she paid for it. "Sophia, can we talk?" "Just for a second." "Mr. Bennett, we're on company time. We stick to work during work hours." "Mr. Bennett?" Oliver let out a bitter laugh. "Really? We have to do this?" As if there's another way. Sophia lowered her gaze. The two of them? They weren't even in the same world anymore. "Sophia, I'm serious. Just give me 5 minutes. No, only 5. I swear I'll say what I need to and leave." Chapter 54. It's actually him. "I really need to talk to you. It's important." Sophia pressed her lips together tightly. She knew Oliver too well. Once he set his mind on something, there was no changing it. If he was determined to talk, no matter how hard she tried to avoid him, he'd still find a way to get to her. She leaned back against the wall. "Then say it." 2 years ago, it was my fault. 2 years ago. Again with the 2 years ago. Sophia snapped like a cat whose tail just got stepped on. Her eyes sharpened and she lowered her voice as she stared coldly at Oliver. "Don't bring up the past." Oliver gave a bitter smile. "Sophia, if that's all you're here for, then we have nothing to talk about." Sophia made a move to leave, but Oliver grabbed her wrist, quickly backing down. Okay, I won't talk about that. Just hear me out." "Let go." "Sophia." She shook his hand off and glanced at her phone. "Say what you need to say. You've got 4 minutes." Pain flickered in Oliver's gentle eyes. There was a time when they had loved each other so much, but now they were just strangers. Just like Sophia knew him, he also understood her all too well. She had zero patience for him now. Whatever story he had, he'd have to shelve it and focus on what mattered most. "I came to your company today because I want to acquire your site, Shengshi Literature." His hands clenched into fists, trying to stay calm. "I need your help." "Ha," Sophia let out a cold laugh. "Oliver, who do you think I am? You really believe I'm still that same old Sophia Williams who would blindly do anything for you just because you asked? We broke up 2 years ago. We've been nothing to each other since. Why the hell should I help you?" "Sophia, this deal means everything to me. You've worked at Shengshi for 2 years. You know how the industry's doing. Aside from Innovation Net, the rest of the platforms are all struggling. Everyone says it's a 3-way race. Innovation, Shengshi, and Yunduan. but anyone in the field knows who's really in charge. So what? Yunduan is my dad's legacy. I can't just sit and watch it get swallowed up. If Yunduan acquires Shengshi, we'll have a shot at fighting back together. Otherwise, innovation will take over everything in web fiction. What's that got to do with me? I'm not asking you to care about what we had. Just think about how I've looked after your mom this past year. Could you help me, just for that? Her mom, Oliver, really knew how to hit where it hurt. Sophia shut her eyes hard. Sophia, what do you want from me? I know this vote your boss Grace is planning will decide which company gets Shengshi. I'm just asking, when that time comes, vote for Yunduan. Ha. Sophia chuckled coldly. You sure know everything about how our company operates. This deal matters to me. I had to be prepared. After the tour around the company, Sophia finally handed Oliver off to Grace and practically ran back to the editorial department, relieved to escape. Meanwhile, everyone in the office was already gossiping about Oliver. He's way too good-looking. I always thought CEOs were all balding old guys with beer bellies, but that guy from Cloudlink, damn, totally not what I expected. Right? And not just the looks. He actually seems super chill. He even smiled and said hi to us. Total gentleman vibes. When Sophia walked back in, the girls immediately swarmed around her. Chloe was the most excited. Editor-in-chief, you've got to vote for Cloudlink this time. Just think, working with a guy like that, productivity through the roof. Exactly. Please vote for Cloudlink, the others chimed in. She's definitely voting for Cloudlink. Didn't you guys hear what Mr. Bennett said? He and our editor-in-chief went to college together. That was all it took for someone to perk up, her eyes shining with curiosity. Wait, editor-in-chief? You really went to college with him? How old is he now? Does he have a girlfriend? Sophia had already composed herself. Seeing the girls buzzing non-stop somehow lightened her mood. She raised her hands in mock surrender. Okay, you're all throwing questions at me at once. Who do I even answer first? Girlfriend, start with that. Does he have a girlfriend? Nope, but what? He's engaged. Seriously? The girls all deflated instantly. Sophia waved them off. All right, enough fangirling. Go check the chat group, it's blowing up. Get back to work, people. Okay, one by one they reluctantly dispersed. Oliver Bennett and his team hadn't left yet. Around 10:30 a.m., the reps from Innovation Network showed up, much earlier than expected. What the? Grace Mason was completely thrown. She was sure their meeting with Innovation was scheduled for the afternoon. Why show up now? They hadn't even seen off Oliver's group yet. If both parties happened to cross paths, things could get awkward in a hurry. Grace looked visibly torn. No need to stress, Director Mason. Sure, we're competitors, but I've actually crossed paths with Innovation's CEO before. He's not the kind of guy who likes to mingle. Very aloof from what I heard. But who knows? Maybe he won't even show today. Let's go have a look. Innovation showing up unannounced, paired with Oliver's thoughtful approach, created quite the contrast. Grace's impression of Oliver visibly improved. All right then. I'll get our team ready to receive them. You go ahead. We're good here. Grace arranged for Oliver's team to wait in a meeting room, assigning a secretary to look after them. Once that was handled, she led Sophia and the rest to the entrance to greet Innovation's people. The surprise visit left the office staff scrambling. Wait, isn't Innovation supposed to come in the afternoon? What's with the sudden schedule change? No idea, Grace responded, clearly annoyed. She turned to Sophia. No heads up, no notice. Just show up whenever they feel like it. Unbelievable. Sophia stayed quiet and quickened her steps to catch up. When they reached the company's front entrance, a sleek line of all-black sedans had already pulled up, all matching, all stylish. Right at the front sat a brand-new Audi Q7. As the group approached, a young man stepped out from the driver's side. The moment she saw him, Sophia's eyes widened in shock. James? The driver? He was James? And if James was driving, then... The back door opened. A man stepped out in a sharp, tailored suit. His expression was cool and distant, his presence almost unapproachable. It was Nathanial Connor, her husband. Chapter 55, Sophia, who will you choose? No way. Nathanial Connor? How could it be him? Sophia felt like her brain just froze. They'd been married for years. All she knew was that Nathanial came from money and had ridiculously high standards for how he lived. She'd thought about asking what exactly he did, but every time, the topic slipped her mind. And now, he's part of the freaking Connor group? Are you kidding me? Sophia stared blankly at him, totally forgetting how to breathe. Nathanial stepped out of the car just then, his eyes casually sweeping over the crowd, but when they landed on Sophia, there was the briefest flicker of a smile in them. Sophia, no wonder he was so confident this morning about having lunch together. Director Mason! Who's this? Grace Mason had met a few people from Innovation because of the acquisition talks, but she had never seen Nathanial before. Nathanial Connor. Grace's eyes widened. Wait, the Nathanial Connor? The Connor Group's heir? What the hell? Just like that, whatever irritation Grace held disappeared. I mean, who didn't know about the Connor Group? One of the top 100 companies in the world, massive influence in basically every industry, and not just dipped into them, but leading. A random deal from them easily meant billions. Now their heir had shown up in person, just to handle this small website. That alone said everything. Mr. Connor, a pleasure to meet you. Grace quickly extended her hand. 1 second, 2 seconds, still no movement from him. Everyone noticed. Grace stood there, awkward as ever. James, trying to save the moment, quickly stepped in and shook her hand himself, chuckling. Don't mind him, Director Mason. Our Mr. Connor isn't really the touchy-feely type with women. That's when it clicked for Grace. Oh, right. There had been all those rumors. They said Nathanial Connor was cold, distant, that he had a seriously dark mind, super private, total control freak. Some even claimed he was gay. Apparently, women never got close to him. Back then, she brushed it off as gossip. Now, guess it was all true. Grace awkwardly pulled her hand back. Sophia. Doesn't like touching women? Then who's the guy that's always holding her hand, pulling her into hugs, getting handsy every chance he gets? Still dazed, she shuffled into the building with everyone else. Her mind flashed back to all those times in Linjiang when big entertainment news would feature the Connor Group. They were a powerhouse, sure, but what always fascinated people more was the drama surrounding Nathaniel's family. People said his dad, Owen Connor, the founder, had a total rags-to-riches story. From poor nobody to marrying Jiang Ning, one of Linjiang's elite socialites, aka Nathaniel's mom, and boom, he was suddenly someone. At the start, they looked rock solid. 2 kids later, first daughter Natalie, then Nathaniel himself. But life's cruel. Jiang Ning passed when Nathaniel was just 10. After that, it was like Owen lost any sense of restraint. He brought in a second wife not long after, and here's the kicker. The second son, Ethan, is only 5 years younger than Nathaniel. Translation? Yeah. Owen was cheating even before Jiang Ning passed. And it didn't stop there. After wife number 2 came 3 and 4. Owen Connor went full open world mode. These days, Nathaniel's father, Mr. Connor Sr., was already hitting his 70s. His eldest daughter, Natalie, had passed away, and yet his youngest son with his 4th wife was only 4 years old. Sophia had once read about it in the news and even found it kind of amusing back then. But now, staring at Nathaniel's tall, straight figure ahead of her, there's only one thing left in her chest: pain. No wonder. No wonder Nathaniel's voice always turned so cold whenever he mentioned his father. No wonder. He once said the only family he had were his grandparents and niece. His mom passed when he was just 10. Sophia couldn't even begin to imagine how a kid that age managed to grow up in such a twisted family setting. Nathaniel. As if he could hear her, Nathaniel suddenly turned back and gave her a comforting smile. Back at the office, Sophia still looked dazed. Unsurprisingly, everyone in the editing department was buzzing about Nathaniel and Oliver. Sophia leaned on her desk, chin in hand, lost in thought. Out of nowhere, her brain lit up. Nathaniel was the official heir of Connor Corporation, right? But why was he running a place like Novanet Tech? Sure, Nova was now a big name in web fiction, but 2 years ago, it was barely off the ground. Compared to any of the subsidiaries under the Connor Empire, Nova was like exile. Hold up. Did Mr. Connor basically toss Nathaniel aside? Seriously? What kind of dad does that to his own son? Rage flared up and Sophia mentally blocked Mr. Connor without hesitation. Straight into her imaginary blacklist he went. Chief! Chief! What? Sophia snapped, still stuck between feeling bad for Nathaniel and being mad at his father. What's wrong with you? Chloe looked startled. Nothing. Sophia took a breath to calm herself, softened her tone. Something up? Some writers in the chat caught wind of the whole acquisition thing. Should we say something? Snapping back to work, Sophia pushed her thoughts aside. About half an hour later, Grace's secretary showed up, asking her to head to the meeting room. When Sophia walked in, the place was packed. Grace sat at the front, with Nathaniel and Oliver on either side. The rest of the team trickled in until every seat was taken. When the last person arrived, Grace stood up and addressed the room. We're here today about the acquisition plan. Like I said before, we'll leave the final call to a vote. With both CEOs present now, we'll hear their statements and then vote. A hush fell over the room. Whispers broke out. Right now? In front of them? Sophia froze too. Whoever they chose would be their new boss. Casting a vote with them watching? Not exactly a stress-free situation. What if the new guy held a grudge? She glanced toward Grace. Everyone, settle down, Grace clapped on the table. When things quieted, she added, this was their idea. Ah, no wonder. Each company gave their pitch, making a case for why they'd be the better fit. Then it was time for the vote. 11 departments in total, plus Grace's vote made 12. The count was tied, 5 for each company. Sophia's department was the deciding vote. Sophia, you're up. Every head turned her way, Oliver, Nathaniel, and all the other department leads. Grace looked at her and asked, who do you choose? Chapter 56, I want meat. Choose who? Sophia froze. Before meeting Nathaniel, she'd promised Oliver her vote, as a way to thank him for looking after her mom all these years. But now, sensing all eyes on her, Sophia took a deep breath, stood up straight, and met both men's gazes head on. Can you both share again what makes your company stand out? Of course. Oliver, unaware of Sophia and Nathaniel's relationship, was certain this vote was his. With things neck and neck, he wasn't about to let it slip. He adjusted his glasses and said gently, Cloudtop's been focused on original content for over a decade. We've been here since online literature emerged and seen it evolve. Now's the time for a real shift in approach. If Splendid joins us, I can guarantee we'll take the platform to new heights. Sophia gave a polite nod and turned to Nathaniel. So far, he hadn't said a word. His assistant James had done all the talking. But this time, Nathaniel decided to speak himself. His tone was calm and firm, face unreadable. The year before last, innovation was nothing but an empty shell. Last year, we signed 200,000 authors and paid out 100 million in royalties. This year, we've grown to 3 million signed authors and annual royalties hit 1 billion. These numbers are our advantage. Silence hit the room like a brick. Arrogant? Maybe. But with stats like that, who could argue? Compared to Nathaniel's solid numbers, Oliver's speech suddenly sounded like empty promises. Sophia, time to vote. Snapped out of her daze, Sophia already knew her answer. Professionally, innovation was a powerhouse. With their business model, Splendid would only rise further. Personally, Oliver was her ex. Nathaniel was her husband. Under the hopeful stares of both men, Sophia hesitated for just a beat before saying, I vote for innovation. What? Oliver stared at her in disbelief. She had promised him this vote. Why the sudden change? Had she been playing him the whole time? His fists clenched tight. She knew how crucial this deal was to him, yet she handed that make-or-break vote straight to his competitor. Did she really hate him that much? It felt like someone had ripped his heart open. Nathaniel's eyes flickered, clearly affected too. Sophia, avoiding Oliver's gaze, Sophia quietly sat back down. 6-5. The last vote came from Grace. She'd leaned toward Cloudtop before, but after Nathaniel's pitch and his presence, she hesitated only a second before switching to innovation. 7-5. Innovation wins. Meeting adjourned. Everyone trickled back to work. Nathaniel stayed behind to have his team run through the contract with Grace, then left with James, Oliver right on their heels. At the office entrance, you won. Nathaniel ignored him and got in the car. Just as the door was about to close, Oliver yanked it back open. I don't get it. You knew how important this deal was to me. Why couldn't you just throw me a bone? Nathaniel, we're practically family now. Blowing me off like this doesn't do you any favors. Becoming family? That depends on your skills. Yep. Oliver Bennett's fiancée was no one else but Nathaniel Connor's half-sister, Natalie Connor. She was the daughter of his stepmother, part of a twin set with her brother Nathan, and they had just turned 24 this year. "Mr. Connor, you seem to have something against me." Oliver frowned slightly. As far as he could remember, he hadn't done anything to offend Nathaniel. Even though Natalie was his fiancée, he and Nathaniel barely interacted, let alone had any serious conflict. But Nathaniel had been openly cold toward him since their very first meeting. "Mr. Connor, if I may ask, did I do something to upset you?" "No." "Then, I just don't like you, period." "Oliver, James, drive. On it." James Reed politely ushered Oliver to the side of the car without giving a second glance at Oliver's stiff expression. Then he shut the door, started the engine, and drove off smoothly. As the car pulled away, James glanced at the rearview mirror. Oliver was still standing there with a face like thunder. Tsk. He probably still had no idea how he pissed off the boss. "Serves him right. James, yeah? Once the acquisition's finalized, change all the skirts for the female staff at Glorious to pants." "James, Editor-in-Chief, who bought our company?" The moment Sophia Williams stepped into the editorial department, she got surrounded by a bunch of excited girls. All the editors on the female fiction side were women, most of them single. After seeing both Oliver and Nathaniel today, arguably too good-looking for this world, their faces were practically glowing with fantasies. "Who do you want to be bought out by?" "Mr. Bennett, obviously. He's got such a gentle vibe, totally the kind of guy who's easy to get along with, and that face, straight out of my dream romance novels. My poor little heart can't take it." "No way Mr. Connor wins hands down. I've never seen a man that attractive in real life before. So cold, so mysterious. You know what they say, once the cold guys fall, they fall hard. And did you notice his nose? Super sharp. Rumor has it guys with noses like that are, powerful in certain areas." Ugh, this bunch of thirsty girls, listening to them fantasize about her own husband. She felt all kinds of awkward but couldn't even argue. She quickly changed the topic. "We've officially been bought out by Innovation. The contracts should be going through in the next few days." "Yay, that means we'll get to see Mr. Connor every day now, right?" "Ah, maybe with enough time around him, he'll start noticing me and fall for me slowly but surely. Then I'll go from regular editor to Mrs. CEO just like that." "All right, enough chatting. Get back to work, people." The girls reluctantly scattered back to their desks, still whispering and giggling. With the acquisition settled, noon came fast. Right at 12, Sophia received a call from Nathaniel. "Mrs. Connor, are you off work yet?" Mrs. Connor, her cheeks instantly felt warm. He really liked calling her that, didn't he? "Mrs. Connor?" "Huh?" She snapped back to attention. "Come downstairs. I'm waiting outside your office." "Wait, what?" Her heart skipped a beat. Outside the building? What if someone saw? A chill ran down her spine. "Nathaniel, just wait inside the car. I'm heading down right now." "We're married. It's not a big deal." I know, but in this situation, please, Nathaniel, I'm begging you here." He went quiet for a moment. "Fine, but there's a condition." "Name it. You're cooking tonight and I want meat." Chapter 57. You Still Have Me. Nathaniel Connor's car was parked low-key at a street corner near Sophia Williams' office. It didn't attract any attention at all. The summer heat was brutal. Sophia rushed over, soaked in sweat, yanked the door open, and hopped into the car, instantly feeling the cool breeze from the AC. Ah, finally some relief. She had barely sat down when Nathaniel took her hand. "Mrs. Connor," his face didn't look too happy. "Am I really that embarrassing to be seen with?" No, that's not it." It wasn't about being embarrassed. It was just about avoiding trouble. Sophia wiped the sweat off her forehead. Things were easier before, but now that it was official, Nathaniel would be their future boss, announcing that he was her husband was bound to stir things up at work. "Then why won't you let me pick you up openly?" Nathaniel sounded clearly annoyed. "In a couple of days, you'll be the boss of our company," she said. "So what?" Sophia clung to his arm with a pout, tilting her head, eyes full of pleading. "You're going to be my boss. If everyone knows I'm your wife, that makes me the boss's wife. I don't have many friends in Lixinshi. The people in the editorial department are like my whole social circle. If they find out, they'll start keeping their distance." Nathaniel frowned, staying silent for a few seconds. Sensing he was starting to soften, Sophia hurried to press on. Your company has a strict no-office romance rule. If you, the big boss, break that rule, how can you expect others to take it seriously, right? Nathaniel let out a chuckle. So you're doing this for me too? Of course I am. Sophia blinked up at him, a picture of innocence. Nathaniel sighed. All right. How could he say no to that pitiful look of hers? He let out a long breath and told James Reed, Let's go. Yes, sir. I thought we were grabbing lunch. Where to now? Home. Huh? Your office is close to home. Mrs. Reed already made lunch. We'll eat, then grab a nap before heading back. Sophia felt all warm inside. Nathaniel really was the sweetest, most considerate man she'd ever met. Then suddenly, she remembered all those rumors about him. Cold, distant, zero emotions, twisted personality, a total creep, even rumored to be gay. What a load of crap, Sophia muttered under her breath. What was that? Nathaniel, did you tick someone off or something? He raised an eyebrow, twirling a lock of her hair between his fingers. Why do you ask? Well, why else would there be so many nasty rumors about you? Saying you're cold-hearted, twisted, that's straight-up slander. Nathaniel gave her hair a gentle ruffle. It's not exactly slander. Huh? Nathaniel smiled but didn't say any more. He'd heard those rumors before. Honestly, most of them weren't entirely false. He simply didn't bother with most people unless he really cared. To Sophia, though, his silence looked like sadness. She thought of how he was treated by his family and couldn't help but reach out and hug him gently. Nathaniel stiffened on the spot. Sophia. This was the first time she had ever taken the initiative like that. Don't be upset, Nathaniel. No matter what, you've still got me. Nathaniel didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Where did this girl's imagination take her now? But hey, if sympathy made her crawl into his arms, he definitely wasn't going to complain. Smirking, he hugged her back tightly. Nathaniel's place was really close to Sophia's office, barely a 10-minute drive. By the time they got home, Mrs. Reed had already laid out lunch. It smelled amazing and looked even better, packed with cold dishes that were perfect for the sweltering weather. Smashed cucumbers, marinated jellyfish, golden needle mushrooms with bamboo shoots, some freshly steamed crabs, and a plate of spicy salt shrimp. Sophia was eating like she hadn't touched food in days. This is so good, Nathaniel. You're seriously lucky to have Mrs. Reed around. Well, you're going to have to take better care of me from now on, Mrs. Connor. Sophia paused, blinking a few times. Wait, what do you mean by that? Washing dishes in the kitchen, Mrs. Reed answered over her shoulder. Ma'am, I've got something urgent back in Linjiang, so I'll be heading out soon. Young master's still staying in Lixin City for some time, so I'll be counting on you to keep an eye on things. Huh? You're leaving? You never mentioned it before. Something unexpected came up in Linjiang. Gotta go check on it. Mrs. Reed turned and smiled warmly. I was a bit worried about his meals, but James told me you're quite the cook. Since he loves your food, I can head off with peace of mind. Taking care of Nathaniel wasn't the problem. The problem was, Nathaniel's assistant Jack was usually busier than he was. If Mrs. Reed left too, then she'd be spending her evenings alone with Nathaniel. Yikes, she knew herself too well. She had zero resistance toward beautiful things, especially when that thing was Nathaniel Connor, a full-package heartthrob. What if... Just saying, what if one night she couldn't hold back and did something stupid with him? Now that would be a whole new level of embarrassing. What's on your mind, Mrs. Connor? Nothing. Sophia's face went beet red. She started fanning her cheeks, then suddenly jumped to her feet and bolted upstairs. Ugh, it's way too hot. I'm gonna take a quick shower. And like that, poof, she disappeared. Nathaniel. Sophia was supposed to be resting, but after learning more about Nathaniel's situation, she couldn't stop thinking about him, and her heart hurt for him. She ended up taking a shower and then tiptoeing over to his room, knocking gently. Nathaniel, can I come in? Yeah, come on in. She pushed the door open, and the moment her eyes landed inside, they widened. Nathaniel had just finished his shower, too. He was wearing a white bathrobe that hung loosely from his waist, showing off a wide stretch of bronze skin and a lean chest. He was standing in the room, rubbing his wet hair with a towel. Occasionally, a few drops of water trickled down his neck, following the lines of his chest. It was enough to make her completely forget how to breathe. Honestly, he looked even more attractive in that robe than shirtless before. Gulp. A loud swallow echoed through the room. Sophia felt her cheeks lighting up like fireworks. She just full-on drooled over him. She quickly looked up and of course met his amused gaze. Sophia. What? I didn't know you were in the middle of, keep doing your thing, I'll just leave, haha. Come here. Why? Help me dry my hair? You can't do that yourself? Nathanial lifted his hand, still wrapped in unremoved bandages. Still healing, remember? Fine, I'll help you, but only your hair. Nathaniel raised a brow. Of course just my hair. Or were you planning to help with something else, Mrs. Connor? Chapter 58. Just try and see. Nathaniel Connor was super tall, like 186 centimeters kind of tall. Sophia Williams had to grab a stool to make him sit at the edge of the bed, then climbed onto the bed herself and half knelt to dry his hair. His hair was really thick and pitch black, kind of rough to the touch. Sophia hadn't done this for anyone before, so her hands were still a bit clumsy. Neither of them talked, but the room felt cozy and full of warmth. Mrs. Connor! Nathan! They blurted out at the same time, looked at each other and chuckled. You go first. You go first. Nathan's eyes lit up with amusement. Ladies first. She kept drying his hair and spoke gently. Tell me what you were like as a kid. We've been married for a while now, but you've never really shared much about your childhood. She just wanted to know him better. He didn't mind at all. What part do you want to hear about? Anything. Just talk. I'll listen. Nathan thought for a second. Well, the Connor family drama hits the tabloids a lot, so you probably heard some stuff. My parents got married pretty young, but my mom had health issues and only had my sister Natalie after years of trying. When I was born, my mom was considered an older mom and Natalie was already 9. My mom and sister spoiled me rotten. I was basically a little tyrant. Sophia was all ears. I was wild back then, getting into fights at school, sticking bugs in girls' desks, breaking windows while playing soccer, and even using a slingshot to bust all the light bulbs at home. Sophia's eyes went wide. She really couldn't picture the calm, composed Nathan acting like that. You didn't get punished when you pulled all that off? Nathan leaned back a little, eyes closed, enjoying the gentle scratching sensation of her fingers on his scalp. Mentioning these childhood antics brought out a faint smile. He hadn't thought about those days in forever, especially not aloud. But if Sophia wanted to know, he'd tell her anything. Get punished? Nah, my dad was always buried in work, barely had time to deal with me. It was my grandparents, my mom, and my sister who looked after me. No matter what trouble I got into, they'd help smooth things over. Even when it got out of hand, they'd just scold me a bit. Hitting me? Not a chance. Sophia noticed how hard it was for him to say dad. Clearly, their relationship was more than a little distant. She paused for a second. When she was 2, her parents divorced. Her mom got custody and later remarried, but even so, her dad had always been super loving. Every time she went to visit her grandparents, if her dad was there, she'd basically be carried the whole visit. Didn't even need to touch the ground. She had always yearned for her father's love. And after that, when I was 10, my mom passed away. By then, Connor Group was already a big deal. Not even 6 months later, my dad brought home another woman and 2 kids. Twins. Sophia's heart clenched, and she silently slipped her hand into Nathan's. Nathanial let out a faint smile, gently holding Sophia's hand in return. His tone was calm, as if he was just telling someone else's story. When my mom passed, it hit us hard. The day my dad brought someone else home, my sister almost lost it. She was dead set against him marrying that woman. But he wouldn't budge, insisted on marrying her and registering those kids under our family name. My sister cut ties with him and took me back to our grandparents' place. Sophia could instantly picture the chaos. Their mom had just died, and they found out their dad had been cheating while she was still alive. That kind of betrayal would crush any kid. And after that, my sister was only 18 then, just started college. After all this, she dropped out. Our grandparents gave her some money, and she used that and some connections to start doing business. Made money to get me through school. That's around the time I started to calm down and stop messing around. Your dad really just left you two like that? He tried to show up a few times, but Grandpa and Grandma kicked him out every time. Eventually, he just gave up and stopped bothering. That's unbelievable. Sophia squeezed the towel in her hands almost out of shape, her eyes glaring, voice full of anger. Where did his conscience go? Got turned away a few times and gave up on his own kids? If it weren't for marrying your mom, there's no way he'd have made it into the circle in Linjiang City. Everything he has now is thanks to your mom and grandparents. Seriously, they say money turns men rotten, and it's true. If he was still broke, struggling just to eat, let's see how many women would look his way. Her face was red from the fury. She'd met plenty of jerks during her endless blind dates, but none of them came close to Nathaniel's dad in sheer shamelessness. Used them and tossed them aside with no guilt, absolute scum. Suddenly, Oliver Bennett popped into her head, and she blurted out, "Men are all trash, Nathaniel." "Sophia, what now?" "Just a reminder, it's not just my mom and grandparents. They're yours too now." Nathaniel offered kindly. Sophia froze. She really did forget she was already married to him. And also, Nathaniel added, defending himself, "I'm rich, remember?" "I know that. He's got money and still shows off." Sophia shot him a fierce glare. Nathaniel rubbed his nose and said softly, "I promise I won't turn rotten. Sophia, you don't have to worry. I'll treat you right always, never gonna mess around." Her cheeks went pink. This guy, how did a conversation turn into a full-blown love confession? She hopped off the bed, trying to play it cool. "Your hair's dry now. I'm gonna take a nap." "Don't go." Nathaniel held her hand. "Stay with me a bit longer." Sophia totally melted. Listening to his past already broke her heart. Imagine actually living through all that. Losing his mom, then basically losing his sister right after. No wonder he changed so much over time. She didn't ask how Natalie passed. That had to be another deep wound, and digging into it would only reopen what he'd tried to heal. It felt too cruel. So she stayed with him, lying on his bed. Nathaniel had one arm lazily draped over her waist, the other stretched out beside him. Sophia nestled her head on his arm, their posture close and intimate. Maybe because it wasn't their first time sharing a bed, Sophia realized she didn't feel uncomfortable at all. Her nose caught a faint scent of camellia from his body. She rolled over to face him. Honestly, he really was good-looking. Thick, dark eyebrows that looked like they were painted on, and when he slept, all the sharpness faded away, leaving just softness. Her gaze dropped to his straight nose, and suddenly she remembered something the girls in the editorial office once joked about. Half curious, half amused, she whispered, "No way, they say guys with high bridges there are better? Is that actually true? Want to find out? Easy. Test it." Chapter 59, Temptation. Ah! The world spun. By the time Sophia realized what was happening, Nathaniel was already on top of her, pinning her down. You didn't fall asleep? "Mrs. Connor, you really underestimate your own charm. You were lying right next to me. How could I possibly fall asleep?" Just like that night, she wandered into his room, half asleep. She slept like a log, and he'd stared at her the whole night, watching her peaceful face until sunrise. He even sneaked out early just to avoid any awkwardness when she woke up. Ah, her cheeks burned like fire. She covered her face, completely unable to meet his eyes. The thought that he'd overheard what she said made her want to crawl into a hole and disappear. Right now, he was so close, their bodies practically fused. Sophia was frozen stiff, scared that Nathaniel might really take this try-it thing seriously. "I didn't know you had thoughts like this, Mrs. Connor." "No, it's not like that." She panicked, afraid he'd get the wrong idea. "It's something the girls at the editorial office were chatting about earlier." "They were talking about me?" Sophia nodded, face crimson. Nathaniel's eyes narrowed. Uh-oh, she knew that look was bad news. "Sure enough," he scoffed, pressing down a little harder as he spoke. "Mrs. Connor, those girls in your department were fantasizing about me and you didn't even stop them?" Tears were threatening to spill from Sophia's eyes. Stop them? With what authority? No one at the office even knew about her relationship with Nathaniel. If she tried to shut them down, wouldn't it just make things weirder? "Nathaniel, calm down, okay? Just breathe." "I am calm." It was summer, and neither of them wore much. Where their skin touched, it was practically burning, as if someone had lit a fire under her. Heat climbed her spine and exploded in her head, her whole face blazing. I! Nathaniel's gaze darkened. She had no idea just how tempting she looked right now. She just showered before heading to his room. Because of the heat, she only wore a loose sleep dress. Sprawled out on his gray sheets, the dress slipped slightly at the collarbone, revealing her smooth, pale neck and delicate collarbones. Her soft curls draped over her shoulders, snow-white skin tinged with pink, and her shy, flustered expression. Honestly, she was a whole visual attack. He could feel flames rising in his chest, licking their way up through his eyes. The self-control he always prided himself on was hanging by a thread. Nathaniel. Sophia's voice barely came out, frozen with tension. He saw the fear flicker in her eyes. That snapped him out of it. He sucked in a deep breath, wrestled the fire down and rolled off her, collapsing beside her to catch his breath. Nathaniel, don't speak right now. Okay. Sophia didn't dare move a muscle. Several moments passed. Nathaniel, are you okay now? She'd been lying so stiffly she was getting cramps. Go to sleep. Okay. Hearing the calm back in his voice, Sophia finally exhaled. She always needed a nap around this time, but after all that tension, now that her nerves were settling, her eyelids felt impossibly heavy. Curled up at the edge of the bed, she fell asleep in no time. Nathaniel listened to her breathing even out, then turned his head. Her sleeping profile was right there. She actually fell asleep? To be fair, Sophia was really beautiful. Her skin was bright and clear, and her features were sharp, especially that perky little nose. That's why her side profile stood out so well. Her eyes were closed in total peace, long lashes fluttering like butterfly wings, pulling a rare softness from him. But it wasn't just her looks. What really got to him was that bubbly, slightly clueless personality. That's what made her irresistible. No wonder Oliver Bennett still couldn't get over her after all this time. Thinking of Oliver, Nathaniel Connor narrowed his eyes, a sharp chill flashing in his gaze. Hiss! Half asleep, Sophia Williams suddenly curled up in defense. Nathaniel quickly softened his aura and gently patted her shoulder. Go back to sleep, he whispered. Sophia stopped moving. Nathaniel's expression softened so much it could melt. If anyone who knew him saw him like this, they'd probably drop their jaws. In his circle, he was known for being cold and ruthless. People even secretly called him the Icy King. Sophia finally woke up when Nathaniel called her. Dad, 5 more minutes, she mumbled, still half in a dream. She was dreaming about her father, someone she hadn't seen in her dreams for ages. Dad? Nathaniel's face darkened instantly, a twitch pulling hard at the corner of his mouth. Mrs. Connor, he emphasized those 3 words. It's time for work. Work? Sophia jolted awake and sat up suddenly. Bang! Ow, that hurt, she groaned, rubbing her head. Nathaniel, what the hell are you doing sitting right there? Well, she was fully awake now. What was his head made of? Brick? You're finally up? Gee, what do you think? Nathaniel was already dressed, his suit crisp and perfect. He glanced at his watch and reminded her helpfully, You've got 15 minutes before you're due at work. It takes 10 to get there, so you've got 5 minutes to change. What? Sophia grabbed her phone and checked the time. 2:15 p.m. already. I'm doomed, she cried out and jumped out of bed, still cradling her head as she ran toward her room. Why didn't you wake me up earlier? I'm screwed, totally screwed. If I'm late again at the end of the month, my perfect attendance is toast. My bonus. Nathaniel's cool eyes flickered with amusement. Rubbing the spot where she bumped into him, he calmly slid on his shoes and said dryly, I'll wait downstairs. In less than 3 minutes, Sophia had thrown on new clothes, didn't even bother with her hair, grabbed her bag, and dashed down the stairs in heels like she was in a sprint. Go, go, go. I'm going to be late. Relax. Full attendance will be yours. Nathaniel was driving, and it was only the second time Sophia had seen him behind the wheel. His driving? Crazy fast. Even with the traffic, he cruised through like a pro, fast and smooth. A 10-minute drive, he pulled it off in 6. I'm off. As soon as the car stopped, Sophia hopped out. Be careful. Yeah, I got it. Nathaniel watched her disappear into the office building before driving away. Lucas Carter, now you believe me, right? Sophia Williams is such a two-faced snake. Plays sweet and innocent on the surface, but underneath, scheming as hell. Mr. Connor just visited the company this morning, and now look at them. Emma Mitchell had seen Sophia get into Nathaniel's car earlier and deliberately dragged Lucas out to wait. Sure enough, Nathaniel just dropped her off again. Emma was practically seething. You saw what she was wearing. It's a totally different outfit. No doubt what she was up to during lunch. Lucas's eyes glinted, but he kept quiet. He'd met Nathaniel before and knew he was Sophia's boyfriend. During that morning tour, he was stunned to realize this man was going to be their future boss. Seeing Emma's vengeful face, he chose not to say a word. Let it go. It's her life. Let it go? Yeah, right. That shameless fox needs to be exposed for what she is. Just wait. I'll make sure everyone sees through her fake act. Chapter 60 Rumors. After news of the company's acquisition dropped, the author group chat went wild. Everyone was on edge. After all, a merger basically meant a regime change. Naturally, people were worried the new management would play favorites between authors from Shangxi and Chuangxin. Sophia had no choice but to hop into the chat and play peacemaker. Ding ding. A WeChat notification popped up. Sophia glanced at her computer screen. It was a message from Jason Kim. Boss, does this acquisition mess up your work? If you ever plan to jump ship, don't forget to take me with you. Sophia chuckled softly, eyes full of warmth. She typed back quickly, no plans to leave for now. Got it. But if you do, I'm right behind you. Wherever you go, I follow. Every editor on the site had their own roster of authors. Jason was one of Sophia's. In fact, he was something of a big deal. Known for nailing down-to-earth modern writing, his style was tight and polished. His stories always drew a ton of readers the moment they dropped. One of his works had already been optioned for a drama. It could start filming any day now. His personality, though, was a whole different vibe. Super fun, a bit goofy, and always down to banter. Back when Sophia first joined the company as a junior editor, Jason had been her first official signing. They'd never met in person, but they clicked instantly and stayed tight ever since. And now, while the whole company was worried about their own future, Jason was here checking in on her. Sophia looked at the cutesy hug me gif he just sent, and all the tension in her chest melted, like taking a sip of chilled water on a hot summer day. It wasn't easy for an author to plant roots at a platform. If Jason followed her to a new one, he'd have to start from scratch with a new pen name and all. That kind of loyalty, it hit her hard. Well, at least her 2 years at Shangxi weren't for nothing. She met Jason and a bunch of other wonderful authors too. In the days that followed, the acquisition paperwork started. Right after both sides signed, it was game on with the handovers. Sophia barely had a minute to breathe. It was busy nonstop. By the end of April, the last of the transition work wrapped up. On the final day of the month, Nathaniel Connor officially took the reins as the new company president. Hey, Mrs. Connor, need a ride? Nope. Her response was instant. Going to work with Nathaniel? Yeah, no thanks. That'd blow their low-key relationship wide open. Nathaniel didn't push it, just nodded. All right then, I'm heading out. Wait, hold up a sec. He turned to her with a questioning look. Sophia was pouring kibble into Buddy and Charlie's bowls. She grabbed her bag, ready to bolt, but Nathaniel pulled her back, frown creasing his brow. You're really running in those heels. What if you twist your ankle? I'm good, really. I'm used to it. After that heart-to-heart the other day, things between them had gotten way more relaxed. Sophia talked to him more casually now. It's your first day as the boss. Bet the office is already packed. You need to make a good impression. I've got to beat you there, so you don't steal my thunder. You leave 10 minutes later, okay? Did he actually need to make a good impression for her? Though he thought it was a bit ridiculous, Nathaniel still waited 10 minutes before leaving. Just like Sophia guessed, even though he showed up 10 minutes early, everyone else had already arrived at the office. Nathaniel Connor walked straight into the CEO's office, trailed by James Reed and his secretary, Miss Luo. The takeover happened so fast that nothing in the company had been rearranged yet, so for now, Grace Mason's old office was temporarily serving as the CEO's office. First thing on the agenda that morning was a company-wide meeting. All employees gathered to hear what the new big boss had to say. Sophia Williams stood quietly among the crowd, but something felt off. The people around her were keeping their distance, like she was radioactive or something. A few even glanced at her with weird looks before turning to whisper to each other. Sophia sighed internally. Yeah, whatever they were saying, it couldn't be good. What's going on? She muttered to Chloe Carter. I'll explain after the meeting, Chief, Chloe replied quickly. All right. Nathanial didn't say much during the meeting. It was Miss Luo who did all the talking. From now on, Shengxi and Innovation are one company, Miss Luo began, her voice even and clear. I know some of you are worried about the transition, but rest assured, authors from Shengxi will receive the same treatment as those already with Innovation. And staff from Shengxi, you'll get the same benefits as Innovation's team. A wave of excitement rippled through the crowd. Innovation was known in the web fiction world for its generous perks. On top of the standard insurance and housing fund, top employees got to travel abroad twice a year. The year-end bonuses were wild if you performed well. And their annual parties? Gold standard. Cash prizes, gadgets, you name it. Seeing that everyone was getting hyped up, Miss Luo kept the momentum going by outlining how the company would operate moving forward. While Shengxi's current staff would stay in place for now, a senior editor from Innovation would come over to take charge of the site as editor-in-chief. All right, that's all for now. Let's get back to work. As soon as the meeting ended, people scattered like birds. Not a single soul stayed near Sophia. Seriously? She muttered under her breath. What am I, a walking plague? On the way back to the editorial department, she asked Chloe, Okay, what's the deal? Why were they all looking at me like that? Chloe gave her a hesitant glance. Chief, promise you won't get mad. Spit it out. Chloe took a deep breath, eyes flashing with anger. There's been a nasty rumor going around the past couple days. People are saying that when Innovation's director, Oliver Bennett, came to visit, someone saw you two chatting alone. Some even claim he grabbed your hand. And what? Sophia asked, squinting at her. Chloe clenched her fists and blurted it out in one go. They're saying you tried to seduce Director Bennett, but he didn't fall for it. So out of spite, you didn't vote for Innovation. Sophia was rooted to the spot, completely stunned. Chloe rushed on. At first, people didn't really believe it. But then remember how Emma Mitchell was spreading rumors that you were some rich guy's mistress? Calling you a gold-digging flirt who can't keep her hands to herself when there's money involved? So now they're buying into it, Sophia finished grimly. Chloe nodded, clearly nervous. Seeing Sophia's face turn pale, she quickly raised her hand. Chief, I swear, I don't believe a single word of it. You'd never do something like that. I know that. Sophia's blood was boiling. Her mind was racing. Who the hell was spreading this garbage? And how had it gotten around so fast? Chief, Chloe said cautiously, you might want to brace yourself. Pretty much the whole company's talking about it now. What? The whole company? Chloe gave a small, miserable nod. Yeah, and what they're saying isn't pretty. Sophia froze. If everyone in the company knew, then there was a chance Nathanial had heard it too. And if he had, would he believe it? She bit her lip. The thought alone made her stomach sink. Chapter 61. Mrs. Connor, you're jealous. Sophia bit her lip and silently walked back to the editorial office. Nathanial, he's such a smart guy. He should know better than to believe stupid rumors, right? But still, what if he does listen to them? The people talking sounded so sure. She had seen firsthand how damaging gossip could be. Damn it! Frustrated, Sophia clenched her fists. Who's out there running their mouth without knowing the facts? The whole morning flew by in a blur of work. Around noon, she turned down Nathaniel's lunch invite and headed downstairs with Chloe to grab lunch at the new restaurant that just opened. It wasn't far from the office. The atmosphere was chill and the AC was blasting, so it had quickly become a go-to spot for the company folks. But as soon as Sophia and Chloe arrived, the coworkers inside purposely stepped away from them like they were radioactive. Sophia blinked. Seriously. Chief, deep breaths, okay? Don't get mad. They probably just got the wrong idea. They didn't have many options for seats, so Sophia and Chloe sat down at one of the few empty tables. Unfortunately, the two people next to them, also from the company, immediately exchanged glances and got up to leave. Sophia's eye twitched. Oh great, they're literally avoiding her. Chief, just order. Oh, okay. Seeing her boss's dark face, Chloe zipped it and went straight to picking dishes. Unsurprisingly, the topic around the restaurant was none other than Nathaniel Connor, the new CEO. Our CEO is drop-dead gorgeous. Calling him handsome doesn't even cut it. He's like top-tier fine, good looks, killer body, filthy rich. It's not even fair. Totally. I've seen movie stars who don't look half as good. Did you guys notice? As soon as he started today, a bunch of girls just so happened to have work that required them to drop by his office. Not that it mattered. He shut them all down. Sophia sat there, sipping her drink, trying not to let her expression slip. Yeah, hearing people fantasize about your husband like he's some idol was weirdly irritating. Noticing Sophia's stormy face, Chloe quickly switched topics. She gripped her cup of iced water and sighed. Sure, the CEO looks great and all, but he's so cold. I didn't see him smile even once. I don't get what those girls are so obsessed with. He acts like emotion isn't a thing. Honestly, I kind of wish we'd gotten bought out by Horizon Group instead. Mr. Bennett's all charm and warm vibes. Then she suddenly turned and looked at Sophia. Oh, by the way, Chief, I heard you voted for Innovex during the acquisition vote. But aren't you and Mr. Bennett old classmates? Why didn't you vote for Horizon? Sophia held her glass of iced orange juice, then remembered Nathaniel had told her not to drink cold stuff. The glass lingered near her lips before she put it down again. Seeing Chloe's curious stare, she said vaguely, Innovex is better for our development long term. Even Director Mason voted that way. That's the only reason? What else would it be? Chloe wrinkled her nose, clearly unsatisfied with the answer, but she didn't press any further. After lunch came the standard post-meal slump and the start of the afternoon shift. Sophia had just sat down and powered up her computer when someone popped into the office. Chief Williams? Hearing a familiar voice, she turned and spotted James grinning at her from the doorway and waving. Mr. Connor wants to see you in his office. Now? Yep. Sophia frowned slightly. She'd just seen Nathaniel this morning. What could he want now? Was it something work-related? Sophia followed James down the hallway toward the CEO's office. The departments they passed were all buried in work, everyone looking busy as ever. She took the chance to lean in and whisper, Did Mr. Connor say what he wanted from me? You'll know once you're there, ma'am. That reply made her jump a little. She darted a look around, lowered her voice even more, and said, James, I'm Editor Williams at the office. Don't mess things up for me. James immediately zipped his lips, literally miming a zipper across them, like he was sealing them shut. Message received. He dropped her off right outside the office. I've got other stuff to deal with. You go on in. All right, go ahead. She knocked on the door. Come in. She pushed the door open and froze on the spot. It was scorching outside, so Nathaniel had taken off his suit jacket, tossing it casually over the back of his chair. His shirt sleeves were rolled up, showing off his muscular forearms, and he sat there looking cool and focused, radiating that unmistakable authority. A thick stack of documents lay open on the desk as he went over them with a serious look. Beside him, his stunningly beautiful secretary stood close, almost too close, going over something with him. She leaned in just a little, leaving maybe 8 inches of space between them. The woman, tall, slim, perfectly made up, had shoulder-length hair dyed a soft caramel brown that made her pale skin pop. She wore a fitted black suit paired with a semi-sheer white blouse that dipped low at the collar. Because she happened to be bent over slightly, her neckline revealed a stretch of flawless skin. And from Sophia's angle, if Nathaniel so much as turned his head a bit, he'd get an eyeful of cleavage. Boom. Sophia felt the heat shoot straight up to her head. Her eyes locked on Nathaniel, practically shooting sparks. Wasn't he the one who supposedly hated being near women? So someone please tell her what the hell she was looking at right now. Mr. Connor, she snapped, her hands curling into fists as she forced the words through her teeth. You wanted to see me? Nathaniel glanced up like nothing was out of the ordinary and handed the signed papers to the secretary. Take these and head out now. Yes, sir. The secretary hugged the documents to her chest and walked to the door. As she passed Sophia, she threw her a smug little glance, full of attitude. Sophia. She took a long breath, trying to calm the fire in her chest. What's the problem? Her tone was ice cold. Nathaniel, however, looked like he was in a great mood. Leaning back in his seat, he smiled and gave her a lazy wave. "Come here." She stood firm, didn't move an inch. "If you've got something to say, just say it from there." He chuckled, clearly finding her reaction amusing. "Why are you all worked up? Who ruffled your feathers?" Seriously, Sophia's glare could have pierced through steel. She let out a cold laugh. "Who says I'm upset? You're imagining things, Mr. Connor." "Still denying it?" he said with a grin. "If there's nothing else, I'll head back to work." Nathaniel's smile deepened, and then, without any warning, he got up and walked straight over, locking the office door behind him. The next second, he turned around and pinned her between his arms in a full-on wall slam move. Too bad the romance was kind of lost on Sophia. She was fuming. "What are you doing?" She glared at him, fully unimpressed. He just gazed into her eyes, watching the fire rise behind them, and suddenly laughed. "I'm actually kind of happy right now, Mrs. Connor." She froze. Was he messing with her on purpose? She was on the verge of exploding, and he was standing there smiling. She shot him another glare and was about to push him away when he said, looking way too pleased, "Really, I'm over the moon. Because, Mrs. Connor, you're jealous." Chapter 62, That Feeling Called Love. "Jealous, are we?" Sophia froze, then instantly denied it. "No, I'm not." "Then why so upset?" "I'm not upset," she snapped, though her tone said otherwise. Nathaniel chuckled, clearly amused. "Your face is all red and you're still claiming you're not mad?" He gently grabbed her shoulders, looking at her with a soft smile. "There's nothing between me and Miss Luo." "Yeah, right. Explaining is just hiding, and hiding equals truth. She's my assistant. If I had any intention of getting involved with her, it would have happened ages ago. Why wait till now? And if I were up to something shady, I'd be sneaky about it. I'm not stupid. You're the lady of the house. You think I'd parade something like that right in front of you?" His words took the edge off her anger, but Sophia still wasn't thrilled. It was obvious Miss Luo had been hitting on Nathaniel on purpose just now, and she couldn't believe he didn't see through that. The more she thought about it, the more fired up she got again. Seriously, if Nathaniel hadn't given her an opening, how would she dare throw such a smug smile her way? So she brushed his hand off and said coldly, "Mr. Connor, it's work hours. If it's not work-related, please wait till after hours to talk." Nathaniel scratched his nose, quietly. Well, fair enough. He admitted it. He did it on purpose. He wasn't clueless about Miss Luo's intentions. He usually didn't like women invading his personal space, and Miss Luo had a habit of accidentally getting too close. If not for her being good at her job, he would have let her go long ago. Sending James to get Sophia earlier, that was no accident either. He wanted her to see that little scene, just to check if she even cared. And it worked. Oh, it worked beautifully. "Sophia, if there's nothing else, I'm leaving. I've got tons to do. I messed up." "I'm a married guy. I should know better than to let any woman, especially one who clearly has feelings for me, hang around me. I shouldn't have kept her around knowing how she feels." Sophia blinked. Wow, no better. What a phrase to use. She was so thrown off, most of her anger just melted away. Seeing her reaction, Nathaniel held her hand again, and Sophia instantly panicked. "Let go. What if someone sees?" "No one can. The door's locked." He led her over to the desk, pulled out a chair, and gently pushed her to sit. "What are you doing?" "Don't move." He bent down and opened a small cabinet beneath the desk, pulling out a little box. Kneeling beside her, he popped it open to reveal a pair of sleek white flats with pointed toes. "These are for me?" "You've got a blister above your heel." "No way." She took off her heels and checked, and sure enough, there it was. Since today was Nathaniel's first official day in his new role, everyone had dressed to the nines. Sophia was no exception. She had on a pale-colored business outfit and white 7-inch heels. She typically only wore 3-inch ones at work, and flats were her go-to in daily life. These high heels hadn't seen daylight in ages. Standing in them for half a day had already made her feet sore, and she didn't even notice the blister. But Nathaniel did. And just like that, whatever frustration she was still holding on to vanished completely. Geez, when he's like this, how is anyone supposed to stay mad? "Try them on." "Hey, let me do it myself." Nathaniel was already squatting by her feet, gently taking off her heels and holding her foot in his hand. Sophia's feet were really delicate, small and well-shaped. Her skin was already fair, and since her feet rarely saw sunlight, they looked almost translucent. Her toenails weren't painted, only a natural soft pink, clean and healthy. She curled her toes slightly, clearly a bit uncomfortable. Aside from her dad giving her foot baths when she was a kid, no one had ever touched her feet like this. Nathanial was a little clumsy as he slipped the new shoes onto her feet. Walk around a bit, see if they feel okay. Sophia had already caught a glimpse of the brand earlier, super fancy and known for being insanely comfy and chic. The pointed design matched her outfit perfectly, and the shoes were ridiculously light, with super soft soles. They felt amazing on her feet. Do they fit all right? Yeah, super comfy. Sophia walked a few steps, realizing the size was spot on. She walked back beside Nathaniel, tilting her little face up to look at him. You picked these yourself. How'd you even know my size? Of course I know everything about you. Of course I know everything about you. Back at the office, Sophia rested her chin in her hand, lips curled up in a smile she couldn't hide. Turns out flash marriages had their perks too. Getting to know someone bit by bit like a treasure hunt. Unexpected surprises at every turn. Editor-in-chief! You've got that rosy glow. Are you in love? Chloe leaned in with a mischievous grin. Yeah, I think I am. Chloe's eyes widened like saucers. Wait, seriously? Now that she thought about it, it had been a while since anyone mentioned Sophia going on blind dates. Her jaws practically hit the floor. Editor, you really found a boyfriend. Geez, the way she said it. Sophia's smile twitched, shooting her a dry glance. Realizing she messed up, Chloe quickly backpedaled with a couple of awkward phews. Editor, you've got everything going for you. It's a no-brainer guys would line up. I just meant you haven't dated much, so just be careful, okay? Have you seen the horror stories online? So many red flags out there. Don't let yourself get played. Nathaniel was too good for her to even be worried about that. Girls prettier than her would be lining up for him. Editor-in-chief, you look exactly like someone who's fallen hard. Huh? What's that supposed to mean? Your expression says it all. Does it? Totally. The sweetness is practically flooding your face. You must really like your boyfriend. Like him? Sophia wasn't so sure. Like Chloe said, she didn't have much dating experience. Other than Oliver, she hadn't really connected with any other guys. The countless blind dates over the past couple of years always ended after one awkward dinner. So she wasn't even sure if it was actual love she felt for Nathaniel, or just being touched by his thoughtfulness and care. Chloe, what do you think? What does it feel like to actually like someone? Depends on the stage you're in. First, it's that can't get enough of each other phase. You just want to be together all the time. Even if you're not doing anything, it just feels right. Then you start feeling what the other person's feeling. Like if he's happy, you're happy. If he's down, you feel it too. You might start wanting hugs or kisses just because you miss them. And the final stage, well, things naturally go further, if you know what I mean. Chloe giggled and scooted closer, lowering her voice like she was sharing classified info. So, editor, you and your guy, have you hit that final stage yet?